Global strangers invasion. Everyone will be randomly assigned a private safe house. Every nightfall, someone will knock on your door asking for shelter. It could be an old person, a child, or a pretty girl. If you let a stranger inside by mistake, you'll get attacked. But if you help a real person, you get 100 gold coins. Gold coins can be used to buy supplies and upgrade your safe house. If your safe house level is too low, strangers will break in directly and kill the owner. So to survive longer, I'm figuring out how to reinforce the door. Suddenly, a cold mechanical voice rings in my head. To help real people survive better, the system will occasionally give tips on spotting strangers. Here's the first clue. Bluish, unnaturally sharp nails.
Tonight's mandatory mission page.
Let in at least one real person. Otherwise, you'll be judged as an unqualified safe house and be eliminated. Starter pack delivered. Please check your inventory. The mechanical voice disappears. I look at the standard door in front of me, thinking about those bluish, sharp nails. That sounds like a zombie or maybe a ghost. If it scratches the door, it'll break it. I still have to let in a real person, but I can't just let anyone in. I let out a breath. Forget it. Overthinking won't help now. I'll deal with it tonight. Let's check what's in the starter pack first. I open the system panel. There are a few simple options. Shop, backpack, chat room. I open the backpack. It's divided into many slots. After selecting the starter pack, a firework animation pops, and a few more supplies appear in the bag. 10 packs of spicy beef self-heating rice, a case of purified water, a hand crank radio, and an AK-47 rifle. 4 boxes, 120 rounds total. I'm so excited I almost yell. Immediately grab the rifle. The gun feels cold. Heavy metal in my hands feels safe. That uneasiness from earlier is gone. I touch my stomach. Not hungry yet. First, check this random apartment. It's a 2-bedroom unit. Doors and windows are basic. The balcony rail is flimsy. If someone attacks, this won't last long. I have to earn coins and upgrade fast. I look through the peephole. The hallway is pitch black. Only a faint green from the emergency light. Then the mechanical voice comes again. Night has arrived. Visitors are on their way. I grip my rifle tight. They're coming. I hear urgent knocking from outside. A girl sounds like she's crying. Her voice comes with knocking. Is anyone there? Please, open up. I can't hold on much longer. It's a girl's voice. I secretly feel relieved. Physical strength is different for men and women. Even if there's something wrong with her, I can still shoot if needed. I look through the peephole. It's too dark in the hall. I only see a slim figure. She's shaking all over. Looks like a real person, cornered. Stand still. Put your hand in the door crack. I need to check your nails.
Global strangers invasion.
Everyone will be randomly assigned a private safe house. Every nightfall, someone will knock on your door asking for shelter. Could be an old person or a child or a pretty woman. Let a stranger in and you'll get attacked. But save a real person, get 100 gold coins. Right then, my safe house gets its first visitor. Stand still. Put your hand in the crack. I need to check your nails. If she hesitates or refuses, I'll shoot. No hesitation. Just pull the trigger. But the girl doesn't hesitate. She puts her hand in right away. I turn on my flashlight. Her nails are pale pink, smooth and round. No blue tint at all. Not sharp either. I feel a little relieved. But I still keep the gun up. Come in. I open the door with gun pointed at her chest. As soon as the girl enters, she covers her face. She's sobbing hard. She has on a white t-shirt and tight light blue jeans, which show her small waist and long legs. I lock the door behind us, step back a couple steps, and keep a safe distance. I speak coldly. Stop the crying. Who are you? What's going on out there? The girl finally notices my gun. She suddenly stops crying and says shakily, I'm 𝐷𝐿. It's chaos out there. Strangers everywhere. And the moon looks really weird, glowing with a creepy red light. The strangers are more active in that red light. She pauses and starts crying again. I ran here with my roommate Lin Fei. We knocked on a bunch of safe house doors. No one would open up. Fei told me to hide first. She went to try other doors. Don't know how she's doing now. After she lowers her hand, Her features look delicate and pretty. Her big red eyes from crying make her look even more pitiful. But things aren't like before. Her crying is making my ears hurt. I snap, okay, stop wailing. If she survives, we'll see each other again. If she doesn't, crying won't help. Just as I finish speaking, there's more banging on the door behind. This time, the knocking is even more urgent. Someone shouts from outside, 𝐿𝐤, 𝐿𝐤. Are you in there? Open up, it's Fai. She sounds a lot like 𝐁𝐮𝐢, filled with anxiety. As soon as 𝐁 hears this, she shouts, Fai. Fai, don't worry. I'll let you in right now. She tries to rush past me to open the door. I grab her arm hard. Who said you could open it? She's so anxious, her eyes are red, trying to break free from my grip. She pleads, confused. That's my roommate, Fai. Let her in, please. I shove her aside. I'm the owner. I'll decide who comes in. She yelps and falls. I ignore her lying there. Look through the peephole. Outside stands a shorter girl. I give her the same instructions as before. She hesitates and doesn't move. Something feels off. This girl is suspicious. She's probably a stranger.
𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐭𝐲 urges from behind me.
Fai, hurry and show your hand. Just need to check you can come in. Global Strangers Invasion. Everyone, each one will randomly get assigned a separate safe house. Whenever night falls, someone will knock, looking for shelter. It could be an old person or a child, or a pretty girl. If you let the wrong person in, you'll be attacked. But if you help a real person, you earn 100 coins. After letting 𝐁𝐮𝐢 in, my roommate Fai became the second visitor to my safe house. But this girl named Fai was clearly a bit off. Fai, just reach your hand over here. Just let us see your hand, then you can come in. 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐭 urged her on. Fai slowly slid her hand through the crack in the door. Under the flashlight's harsh beam, her fingers were slightly bent. Her nails had a faint bluish tint. They were sharp at the tips, like claws, with the light shining on them. They gave off an eerie, cold gleam. 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐭 gasped behind me. She stopped talking. Outside, Fai noticed nothing was happening inside. Her tone got impatient. 𝐮𝐢, let me in. Didn't you say you just need to check my hand? 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐭 covered her mouth and shook her head repeatedly. Her tears started flowing again. Fai, still outside, got no reply from 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐭. So she started banging on the door in frustration. 𝐮𝐢, hurry and let me in. There are lots of artists outside. When did you guys notice them? Taking advantage when she was banging on the door, I pulled the door open with force, aimed the gun directly at her chest, without any hesitation. I just pulled the trigger. Bang, the gun fired. The bullet instantly hit Fai. She let out a strange screech. The powerful impact sent her body, smashing hard against the hallway wall. Thick dark green liquid splattered onto the wall. It gave off a sharp, unpleasant smell. She twitched a few times, then was still. 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐭 was frozen in fear from what she just saw. Her face pale as a sheet. She even forgot to cry. Her eyes were full of terror. When she looked at me, there was obvious fear in her eyes. I put away the gun, speaking calmly, don't get soft again. You'll be the next one to die. 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐭 nodded over and over. She kept shaking all over, and kept mumbling. I get it. I won't dare anymore. I'll listen to you. Seeing her so obedient, I thought to myself, that's more like it. Only people who follow the apocalypse rules can survive. I leaned against the wall, playing with the assault rifle, waiting for more visitors. Didn't have to wait long. The mechanical voice sounded in my mind. First round of visitors is over. Starting shelter results calculation. Owner 𝐒𝐲𝐬 receives gold coins as reward. First kill reward pack received. Can be used in the system shop. When I heard the coins were sent, I finally felt relieved. I immediately opened the shop panel, clicked upgrade doors and windows without a second thought. Just enough, 100 coins. Right after confirming purchase, a faint renovation noise started up. It wasn't loud, but I could clearly feel the doors and windows shaking. After the renovation, I tried pushing the front door. It felt thick and sturdy. Unlike the lightweight door before, the windows now looked like stainless steel. They looked pretty solid. The night was getting darker. I walked to the living room window, peered out through the window. It was pitch black outside. Red moonlight was coming through the glass. The apocalypse came quietly. Open the starter pack now? 𝐷 was curled up in the corner of the couch, her eyes full of exhaustion and fear. She kept glancing at the door. Looks like she was too scared to sleep. When she saw me heading to my bedroom, she seemed to muster up some courage, looking at me with big, hopeful eyes, her voice soft. I'm a little scared. It's just us two here. Can I sleep with you? Stop with that. Go sleep on that bed. Or just stay on the couch. Wherever you are. Don't move until I say so. 𝐷 face dropped instantly. She gave me an angry glare. She grumbled and got up, slowly shuffled over to the second room. Made a lot of noise when she lay down on purpose. Watching her, I scoffed inside. Getting mad won't help. My rules, my place. No idea how long I've been sleeping. Suddenly, I opened my eyes wide. First thing was to reach for my rifle. Touch the cold metal right away. Then I truly relaxed. I got up and checked my phone. It was already 4 p.m. Not long till it gets dark. Second room's door opened just a bit. 𝐷 poked her head out. You're awake. What are you gonna do? I'm hungry, 1 box each. 𝐷's eyes went wide. She nodded quickly, though for some reason a faint sadness drifted through her heart. I opened the system panel, checked it. Coin balance, 0. Then I opened the chat room. Yesterday, I was just waiting for guests. Didn't get to check messages. Now's a good chance to see what others are saying. Chat messages were coming in super fast. Most people were griping about last night. Then a message caught my eye, sent by someone called 𝐷𝐿𝐼. It sounded urgent. Even used a bunch of exclamation marks. Last night I tested an artist. Found a new clue. They have fuzzy memories of old numbers. Can't figure out dates. After reading it, my eyes lit up. Another way to spot artists. I grabbed my phone, jotted it down in my notes. Right then, a strong smell drifted over. 𝐷 handed me some instant rice. I ate heartily. You're in charge of chores from now on. Yeah, helping real people earns coins. With coins, you get supplies. If you want a freeload, just leave. Got it, I'll work hard. Before I knew it, the sky was getting dark. The mechanical voice sounded again, now revealing the second way to spot an artist. Under strong light, their irises look foggy gray. Tonight, 3 guests will come. Homeowner, get ready. I sat on the couch, fiddling with my rifle. Now I know 3 clues. Makes spotting artists even more accurate. Just then, a slow and soft knocking sounded. 𝐷 moved closer to me, almost sitting on my lap. I pushed her away. Go open the door. 𝐷's eyes turned red right away. Seeing I wasn't budging, she forced herself to walk to the door. Someone outside coughed a few times. Sounded like an old man, his voice weak and tired, full of pleading. Anyone there? My health's bad. Can't run anymore. Please open the door. 𝐷 started to open the door. I tapped her head. She shot me a glare, then nervously spoke to the person outside. Sir. Wait, please put your hand through the door crack first. The old man outside didn't hesitate. He slowly reached his hand in. 𝐷 turned on the flashlight. Under the beam, she looked carefully. She turned back and shook her head at me. His nails were light brown. Not green, not sharp. Check his eyes. Check if the irises have changed.
𝐷 did it right away.
She aimed the flashlight at the crack in the door. The bright light hit the old man's wrinkled face. Every line told a hard life. I suddenly felt soft-hearted. The flashlight swept over quickly. Barely saw any red demon signs. He bit his lip, whispered, looks clear. No problem. Then she unlatched the door. I suddenly had a bad feeling. About to say something to stop her. Right then, the old man saw the door open. A flash of malice in his eyes. He dropped the weak act. He lunged at 𝐷. Clawed hand grabbed for his throat. 𝐷 rushed from the side. At the same time, aimed at the old man's chest. Pulled the trigger without hesitation.
Ban!
The bullet hit him right in the chest. Blood sprayed out. He fell backward and dragged along the floor. Twitched a few times, then went still. Dark green sticky fluid splattered on the door.
It stank.
Same as the one we killed last night. I was breathing hard, looking at 𝐿 sitting on the floor, his back drenched with cold sweat. Life and death just a blink away. What were you doing? How did I teach you? 𝐿's face went pale.
His lips trembled.
He couldn't speak, his eyes full of panic and fear. You felt sorry for him. If I was a second late, you'd be the one lying there now. Tears flooded 𝐿's eyes. He lowered his head. His shoulders shook. I get it now. I'll check more carefully from now on. I won't mess up again.
He looked up at me.
His red eyes were full of guilt. He hugged my arm. I won't be soft again. I'll just listen to you. Please don't kick me out. I stayed unmoved, stared coldly at him. But I thought, that's 100 coins a day. No way I'd kick him out. This is your last chance. If you can't adapt to this world now, don't slow me down. 𝐿's eyes firmed up. He nodded hard. So, what are you waiting for? Clean up the door. I sat on the couch, holding my gun, watching 𝐿 kneeling on the floor, hands shaking as he wiped up. Didn't take long. Suddenly, loud banging on the door. Bang, bang, bang. Super strong. The door literally shook. Even the dust on the wall seemed to fall. 𝐿 jumped at the noise. A raspy man's voice came through, full of threat and arrogance, coming from outside the door. Open up. Quit playing dead, I'm human. Open up right now, or you're all dead when I get in. I frowned at the sound. He sounded nothing like a desperate survivor, more like a thug on the street, trying to bully us just 'cause he's strong. A look of fear flashed in 𝐿's eyes. He instinctively leaned close to me.
He whispered, "He sounds scary."
I patted his arm, told him to chill. My voice was cold. Scared? Human or mutant? We'll check anyway. Even if he's human, if he messes around here, I'll deal with him all the same. The guy outside got meaner when no one answered. Sounded even more fierce. He kicked the door hard.
Ban!
You hear me in there? Open up right now, or I'll bust this door down. 𝐿 took a deep breath, gripped his flashlight tight, ready to check. He shouted in a low voice. Quit yelling. Put your hand through the door. If you pass, you're in? The guy outside cursed it a bit. Annoyed, he shoved his hand in. Arrogant tone. Check, whatever, do it. If you slow me down, you'll pay for it. I leaned close to the door crack, used 𝐿's flashlight, looked closely at his nails, dark and clipped short. No signs of mutation. He's human. 𝐿 aimed the flashlight at his eyes. Looked carefully. She turned and shook her head at me. Nothing strange about his irises. Not gray mist. Definitely human. 𝐿 opened the door a bit. Still sounded nervous. Come in. The man pushed the door open. He swaggered inside. He was tall and big. A nasty scar across his face. A spring knife in his hand. He started looking around. His greedy eyes landed on the ammo on the table. And the instant meal. Muttering, damn, didn't expect so much good stuff here. Didn't expect this dump to have so much stuff. Looks like I came to the right place. He turned to look at me and 𝐿. From now on, this safe room is mine. You two work for me now. Find supplies and guard the door. Disobey me, and I'll use this. He waved the spring knife. The blade shined under the light. He clearly didn't respect us.
𝐿 shook with fear.
He hid behind me. I just stood there, my rifle raised a little, my eyes cold as ice. A deadly urge bubbled up inside me. How dare he act up here? Try to steal my gear? Take my safe room? He's asking to die. I let out a cold laugh, aimed my rifle at him. Is that right? Let me show you what's real power. A bead of sweat ran down his forehead. Think I'm scared of your little toy? Before he finished, I pulled the trigger. He stared in shock, smoke rising from his chest. You actually shot me. He fell to the floor. Blood spread underneath him. So he wasn't infected. But even normal people. I'm not just letting anyone stay here. I'm the boss here. Always will be. Anyone who could be a threat to me. I'll deal with them. 𝐿 didn't complain. Didn't show any dissatisfaction. Just looked away. Now only one more person to wait for. Is that so? I pointed at the far hallway corner. No need. Someone was just peeking from the corner. That must have been the third visitor.
He's already scared away.
I head back to my room. I lock the door and then hear a system chime in my head. All tonight's visitors are gone. Visit started. Calculating DB household results. No new survivors have joined, so I still only get 100 gold coins. We have enough food and water for now, so I decide to save my money for later. Gold coins received. That means tonight's crisis is finally over. I was on edge all night, but I can finally relax. I just closed my eyes to sleep. Someone's knocking again. My scalp tingled with fear. I really didn't want to get out of bed, but that familiar machine voice spoke up again. Mysterious visitor has arrived. Homeowner, please open the door within 10 seconds. Otherwise, the visitor will force entry, ignoring your defense. I definitely didn't want to go first, so I thought about having 𝐿 open the door. I turned on the light. Then I saw 𝐿, eyes rolled back. She'd already fainted from fear. I cursed it under my breath, grabbed my gun and got out of bed, then slowly opened the door. I've got a gun in my hand. Who the hell is bothering me out there? A man's voice came from above the door crack. Sorry to disturb you, sir, but I hope you can put the gun down and talk to me calmly. I looked up toward the voice. When I saw his face, I nearly blacked out. It was a 6-meter tall man in a silver robe. He was pale and had a faint smile. Sir, please answer my question honestly. Is there anyone in your house besides you? Facing this supernatural horror, I didn't even think about resisting. I just forced myself to look at him. There's a girl called 𝐿 here with me. As soon as I said that, the man's smile froze instantly. You're lucky, you know? I'll come back to visit in 2 days. By then, I hope your house has 2 or more people living in it. The tall, thin man disappeared down the hallway. One was terrified afterwards. If I hadn't let 𝐿 stay last night, things wouldn't have ended well for me. Tonight's mysterious visitor totally changed my view on how scary the apocalypse is. Turns out there are things here I can't even understand. Horrors beyond words. I kept tossing and turning in bed. I didn't fall asleep until morning. When I woke up again, it was already getting dark. I went on the chat room. A host named Zhao Kai sent a bunch of messages. He let one stranger inside on purpose to figure out what they are, just to see what they're about. Strangers don't remember much from the past and mess up basic facts. After Zhao Kai finished, the group chat blew up. Good people will be safe. I hurried and wrote down this new way to spot strangers. It's now 6 o'clock. A robotic voice spoke in my head. Today I'll introduce a team of heroes. The Chicktail Emergency Force. Their researchers discovered. Strangers' eyes look red and swollen. There will be 3 visitors tonight. All homeowners be careful. Chicktail Emergency Force will keep fighting for humanity. Stay safe tonight, everyone. I stared at my computer screen and thought, they just announced a new way to identify them, which means the old ways might not work now. Strangers are learning to dodge our checks too. With the last 2 nights' experience, I'm not as nervous anymore. I opened the game and waited for visitors. Not until midnight. Did someone knock on the door? 𝐿 walked over and opened the door a crack. An old man in ragged clothes stood outside. Miss, can you let me in? I can hardly walk anymore. 𝐿 nodded at this. That's fine. But Grandpa needs a checkup first. After saying that, 𝐿 shined the light in his eyes. In the bright glare, the old man's irises turned into a gray mist. Seeing that, she slammed the door shut. The old man must be a Varian. I patted her on the shoulder. Good job. You're learning fast. Her growth really impressed me. As the owner, taking in survivors helps me out. But I prefer useful people. Suddenly, it was 4 a.m. Only an hour until dawn. But only one guest came tonight. I leaned back for a nap. Just as I was drifting off, a knock came at the door again. I snapped into action. I hid behind the door with my gun. 𝐿 cracked the door open. But she froze when she looked out, because 2 guests arrived at once. A father and his daughter. The girl was crying behind her dad. The man looked at her sincerely. This is my daughter, Xiaowei. Do you have any room left? If you do, please take her in. I walked over with my rifle. There is room. But to get in, you have to be checked first. The man nodded. and pushed his daughter forward. We know the drill. She shined the light in her eyes and found they were red and swollen. Tang Xiao looked at me in panic. Her eyes are red. I aimed my gun at Zhao Wei. Quite an act you've got there. I almost let you in. Zhao Wei sobbed on the ground. Her father waved his hands. No way. There's gotta be a mistake. Tang Xiao grabbed my arm. She's been crying this whole time. Maybe they're just red from crying. She's not a variant. I stared at the two of them, thinking about the rules. The rules say, if there are 2 or more variants, that's when they start killing. Even if Xiao Wei is one, she'd have to stay in line. Realizing this, I slowly lowered my gun. The father sighed in relief, then patted her head. Go inside the big brother's room? Dad, he tried to kill me. I'm not going in there. But the man pushed his crying daughter right through the door. Then he bowed deeply to me. I'm counting on you. I have to find her mother. Tell me what happened. We were hiding in a basement. Then my wife got a text about a shelter for survivors. She went to check it out first. She'd come back if it was safe. But after she left, we lost contact. Until tonight, I got a text too, telling me to come to room 207. So we ran all the way here. Hearing that, my mind was racing. So that's where guests come from. An unseen force is controlling all our fates. But what is their goal? Shaking it off, I said goodbye, locked the door, and sat back down, waiting for today's summary. A moment later, system, day 3 summary complete. Survivors sheltered, 2. Reward, 200 gold, with 1 more person here. I don't fear the Slender Man's next. Visit, short-term crisis averted. Time to plan for the future. I'll go exploring at dawn. I don't know the dangers outside. If the apartment fails, I'll need a place to run. After waking up, I open the chat room, ready to contact Zhao Kai. Going out is too risky, so I need a reliable ally. To stay safe, and Zhao Kai, the man who let a variant in, is the best choice. I found his profile and sent him a DM. Luji, hey Zhao, you awake? Got something important, he replied instantly. Zhao Kai, what's up? I typed back immediately. Luji, brother, I'm exploring tonight. Want to team up? 2 minutes later, a new message came. Zhao Kai, I'm down. But where are you? Luji, room 207 South Apt. Zhao Kai, brother, I'm in South Apt too. In the garage security office. We can definitely meet up. I got excited. Luji, then Zhao. At 3 p.m. today. Let's meet at the Central Garden. I saw people there before. Let's check the situation. Once he agreed, I started preparing. Over 90 rounds left. These are non-renewable. Every bullet counts. 20 should be enough. I pocketed the bullets for easy access. Just then, Tang Xiaoyu came over. In 7 days, the rice will be gone. I'm exploring today. Might find some food. Zhao Wei looked at me in awe. The daily alert sounded, but with good news today. System, starting today. If you kill a variant, you get 100 gold. I was thrilled. My heart leaped. Killing them paid nothing before. Every bullet was a waste. Now there's a reward. Upgrades and supplies. Will be much faster now. At the set time. Shouldered my rifle and opened the door. If I don't return, find a good burial spot. Tang Xiaoyu nodded tearfully. She shut the door behind me. I crept to the meeting spot. Bodies covered the garden. Seeing this, I switch off the rifle's safety. What the hell could kill so many people? Right then, a voice snapped me out of it. Is that you, Luji? Hearing the noise, I instantly looked toward the sound. A young guy holding a machete was standing not far away. Luji, are you Zhao Kai? I'm Zhao Kai. After Zhao Kai walked up to me, we checked each other over, making sure we were both human. Along the way, we saw lots of performer corpses. Some survivor remains too, torn apart by performers. The air was filled with a heavy smell of blood. It made my heart race. Zhao Kai pointed to the mall nearby. Someone I know said there are supplies inside. Let's look for some stuff, and maybe see if anyone's still alive. I glanced at the mall building. Someone upstairs happened to move the curtain aside. Peeking out toward the garden, I gripped my gun tighter. Let's check it out. But after half an hour searching with Zhao Kai, We didn't find any sign of a real person. Gun raised, I slowly moved to the end of the hallway. Think we're being played by a performer. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 scratched his head. That could actually be possible. Or maybe that guy's memory is messed up. Let's find out what's upstairs. Maybe we'll find a survivor. See what's really going on here. We headed up to the second floor. The place was trashed everywhere. There were faint screams too. We basically found nothing on this floor either. Just when I thought today would end empty-handed, at the end of the hallway, we spotted a closed room. I pressed myself to the wall. Careful, there might be someone inside. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 hid his knife behind his back and knocked on the door. Anyone in there? We mean no harm, just exploring this place. If you hear us, please open the door if you can. If no one's in there, we're coming in. It was silent for a few seconds. I stepped forward and shot straight at the lock. Then I kicked the door open. Right in front of us was a woman's corpse. I steadied myself and took a look around. There was a lot of food and water stored in the room. Looks like she died by accident, but I didn't see anyone else around. Thinking about that, I suddenly realized something important. Maybe that tall, pale guy came here 2 days ago. Judging by the clue, he's supposed to kill any resident who didn't shelter someone else. I looked at the woman lying dead. This woman was killed by that tall, pale man. Before I even finished, that pale man's voice came from behind me. You're pretty clever, Mr. Liu. I instantly felt a chill down my spine. I turned to look. There he was, the tall, pale guy, staring at me with a creepy smile. I swallowed hard. Why are you here? The pale man smiled intently. At me. I'm just visiting the residents here. So that's why I'm here.
It's so dangerous outside.
So please stay inside your own place. And don't go out. I have no clue what this pale guy actually wants, but I was already prepared for the worst. I gripped my gun, on high alert. My business is none of your concern. The pale guy froze when he heard that, but he still looked at me with a grin. All right, Mr. Liu. I found out today that a lot of homeowners seem to attack people first. Your species' survival strategy seems to have changed a bit. My creator isn't happy about this. So starting tomorrow, the performers will start attacking houses directly too. I'll leave you to your adventure, Mr. Jiang. See you later at your dorm door. With that, the pale guy just left. I barely had time to process what he said before 𝐷𝐿𝐼's voice cut through my thoughts. Liu, move already. I snapped out of it suddenly. I looked at 𝐷𝐿𝐼, totally confused. Only then did 𝐷𝐿𝐼 finally sigh in relief. Next time, can you not scare me like that? Right after you spoke, you suddenly froze up. I thought you were possessed or something. I gave a bitter laugh. Wouldn't be far from the truth. But I sensed something else was off. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 had been at the door the whole time, but never saw the tall, thin man leave. Could he teleport too? I decided to tell 𝐷𝐿𝐼 about what happened later. Let's focus on what's right in front of us first. I pointed at the food in the room. It's about time. Let's take the food from this room first. We can look for a supermarket later if we get the chance. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 nodded in agreement. That's what I was thinking too. Then we started gathering supplies. The food in this girl's room was a decent amount. We ended up with 2 big bags. My backpack was stuffed to the brim. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 found a tote bag and carried the rest. I was humming as I walked to the door, just about to leave, when I heard faint footsteps in the hallway. I pointed my flashlight toward the hallway. The scene before me made me gasp. I originally thought no one was outside, but when the light swept over, I saw a bunch of performers crowding the hall. Everyone in the light had gray, foggy eyes, or blood-red eyes. I froze for a moment, then bolted. I didn't forget to yell for 𝐷𝐿𝐼 to run. There are performers everywhere out there. Just as I finished shouting, a figure stumbled right at me. I shot it on reflex. Its head and shoulder got blown right off. The gunshot drew all the rest over. Suddenly, everyone outside rushed in. It was crazier than high schoolers rushing the cafeteria. No way we could get down the hall anymore. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 opened the window and jumped from the second floor. I gritted my teeth and followed him down. We both bolted straight for our own dorms. Didn't even have time to say goodbye. I watched as those performers literally poured out the second floor windows like dumplings. It made my hair stand on end. I cursed and kept running toward my dorm building. I kept running for my life. The performer chasing me was about 1 kilometer away. At least I don't work an office job every day. So this distance shouldn't be a killer for a fit college guy. But it's rough. But after just 5 minutes of running, I felt like my lungs were about to explode. Man, it's been so long since I ran. I'm dead tired. Come on, legs, move. The performer behind me was closing in. Good thing this rifle ain't just for show. Every time they got close, I'd fire a couple rounds behind me. Once I was almost out of bullets, I finally reached my dorm building. I looked up. 𝐿 was waving to me from the balcony. 𝐿 grab the rope. There are performers in our building too. Don't use the stairs. I quickly tied the rope around my waist. 𝐿 grabbed the rope, then looked at 𝐿 next to her. Help me pull. Then the two girls used all their strength to pull me up. The performers downstairs could only watch, frustrated. Barely surviving made me laugh out loud. I flashed the performers below a universal hand gesture. If you want another shot at me, practice for 2 more years. But just as I was steadily going up, I suddenly felt weightless. I panicked and looked at the balcony. What are you two doing up there? 𝐿 popped her head out immediately. Sorry, 𝐿. Someone's breaking in outside the dorm. 𝐿 and I got spooked. Hearing that, I stopped waiting for their help. I started climbing up the rope myself. Hurry and pull me up. I'll check out what's going on. After all, the tall guy said they'd start attacking directly. Gotta stay on guard now. After I climbed onto the balcony, 𝐿 ran over to me. 𝐿, are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? I ignored 𝐿's concern and rushed to my locker. Forget that for now. Let me see what's up at the door. I reloaded my gun and rushed to the door right away. Even though the door was reinforced, it couldn't withstand long-term battering. Just as I tried to check it out, an axe blade smashed straight through the door. I jumped from the shock, but seeing the hole in the door, I cursed it out loud. Who's got a thing for chopping doors? Don't you know when to hold back? This door cost me 100 gold to upgrade. You animals. Pay for my door. I aimed through the hole right after yelling and fired a burst of shots. Things went quiet outside after that. Green blood started leaking in through the crack. I peeked outside through the hole. The place was a mess, but there was no more danger. Only then did I collapse on the floor in exhaustion. 𝐿 was so scared by my bloodthirsty vibe. She didn't dare move. But 𝐿 dove right at me. 𝐿, are you alright? I shook my head. I'm fine, just tired. I'm gonna take a shower. You stand guard here for now. When I finished showering, the apartment was spotless, thanks to the girls. Since I'd just killed a bunch of performers, I decided to check the homeowner panel to see if I'd get any rewards. Sure enough, there were some lines on the computer screen. System, all visitors tonight have left. Now settling results. 4th night of shelter results. Homeowner, 𝐿 sheltered, 2. Performers eliminated, 8. Reward, 800 gold coins. Kill reward packs, 2. I tapped on the kill count. Turns out only those trying to break in count for rewards. Killing them gave me the reward. I checked the kill pack info. Special reward for killing performers. Open it for a random reward. Got it. Guess these packs are like loot drops. I immediately opened the owner panel. Then I opened one of the gift packs. System, congratulations. You got an upgrade card. You can upgrade any item to the next level for free. After getting the upgrade card, I was pretty happy. This thing is pretty useful, but using it on the door would be kind of a waste. I'd better save it for later. Then I opened another gift pack. This time I got some basic building materials. Not bad either. I started thinking about future dangers. Just upgrading the main door won't be enough. I need to boost the safe house's counterattack ability. Thinking that, I opened up the shop tab. Started searching through the shop categories. Suddenly, I saw a turret option. I clicked to check it out. Inside were all sorts of active defense weapons, from manually operated archer towers to turrets that can shoot shells. They've got it all here. The higher level turrets, the more resources and coins they cost. Besides that, there are certain requirements for installing turrets. The most important is house size. If your place isn't big enough, you definitely can't install advanced turrets. Or one shot might not kill the enemy, but it'll definitely blow up my dorm. Right now, the only thing I can build is a basic archer tower. I opened its description. A basic archer tower needs one person to shoot and one to reload. It can attack unarmored targets. Building one costs about 2,000 coins. But luckily, I just got a lot of materials from gift packs. I only need to add 600 more coins myself. That'll be enough to build the archer tower. Then I used the remaining 500 coins, all to upgrade the doors and windows. Upgrade successful. Started installing. As the system notification sounded, I heard renovation noises outside the door. After 10 minutes of noise, the apartment door turned into a big steel door. The peephole turned into a viewing window. And there's a hole to stick out weapons and attack. I looked at 𝐷 excitedly. This feels so much safer than before. Now I never have to risk checking visitors myself again. 𝐷 glared at me angrily. When did you ever take risks? I'm always the one opening the door. I gently patted her head. Don't worry about those details. Then I opened the warehouse panel and installed the archer tower. It took almost half an hour. The archer tower was finally done. The second it was built, a system voice rang in the dorm. Congrats! Dorm defense level up to 3. The owner can now shelter more people. Daily survivor reward increased by 100 coins. I was thrilled to hear that. There's a bonus for upgrading. Starting tomorrow, for every survivor I shelter, I'll get 200 coins at settlement. xiaowei and 𝐷 were really happy too. 𝐷 jumped right into my arms and kissed me right on the cheek. 𝐿uji, you're too awesome. xiaowei quietly walked up to me too. Thank you. I'll pay you back someday. I grinned. Just don't get back at me, and we're good. After fully upgrading the dorm, I finally got my first visitor. Once the settlement was done, someone knocked again. I didn't even have to guess. It was the pale, slender man. I opened the viewing window on the steel door. His face was pressed right up against it. He stared at me without blinking. I want to ask you a question, Mr. 𝐿uji. Please answer honestly. In your house, are there 2 or more survivors besides you? I try not to look at his terrifying face. Now there's another 18-year-old girl. The smile on the pale man's face disappeared. Wow, you sure are lucky. Hope you get lucky again next time. I'll visit again in 2 days. By then, there need to be at least 4 survivors in your house. It will get even harder to survive after that. Please make sure you're alive when I come. The pale man left after finishing his words. Seeing that, I sat back and let out a sigh of relief. Just then, 𝐷, who was hiding in the side room, finally poked her head out. Brother 𝐿uji, where did that ghost-like guy even come from?
He's so scary.
I shook my head. I don't know either, but he feels kind of like an inspector. He checks the homeowners to see if they've reached his goals. Those who haven't will be removed. 𝐷 looked at me worried.
He keeps raising the bar for us.
Until we can't keep up anymore. I sighed. I don't know either. I suddenly switched topics. But I think there's always a way. As long as we're alive, we'll always have a chance. My house can upgrade. One day, it'll be so strong no one can break in alone. Maybe we can hold out until the apocalypse ends. As soon as I finished, 𝐷 jumped onto me. I won't be scared as long as you say that, brother 𝐿uji. xiaowei and I both believe in you. After all the chaos, we're both wiped out, with the upgraded house protecting us. I finally got some good sleep. Waking up the next morning, I sat on the couch like usual, looking at the chat logs. I typed and asked if the guys were okay. Feels like everyone quit talking in the group. Only a few homeowners replied. Homeowner A, is it possible most homeowners are dead? Homeowner B, we're pretty lucky compared to others. Homeowner C, you're right. I checked the chat room. About 70% of the group avatars are already grayed out. Only about 30 people are still alive. Luckily, Xiaokai's avatar is still glowing. He popped up in the chat now too. No matter what, let's just try to survive first. Today's broadcast is about to start. Better focus. As it hit 6 o'clock, the broadcast started right on time. That cold, robotic voice rang out again. Honestly, I feel sick hearing it now. Because it means the disaster is still going. Everyone still has to keep struggling in the apocalypse. System, long time no see, survivors. After yesterday's announcement, that killing someone brings rewards. Did any of you try it out? The kill leaderboard will be posted in each area's homeowner group soon. Check if your name's on it. Also, today I've got another good news for you. The emergency unit from the committee has made initial progress researching the special people. Starting today, our heroes will go deeper into every area to explore. If you see emergency unit members, don't panic and fully cooperate with their investigation. Anyone who resists will be punished.
Hearing this,
xiaowei turned to look at me. Tan Xiaoyu beside us couldn't help but cheer. Awesome, brother Lu Ji! Did you hear that? It's the emergency unit arriving. Does this mean we're saved? I shook my head. Don't get too excited yet. Where's this so-called emergency unit even from? Never heard of them. Don't picture them as some savior. The only thing saving us now is the dorm we're living in. Everything else is pointless. Even if they come, I doubt they'll solve anything. I don't like this so-called emergency unit at all. I have zero good feelings about them. If they really planned to save people, they would have shown up when the apocalypse began. Why wait until now? Plus, in this apocalypse, what role are they really playing? I honestly have no clue. What if they created these special people? That's not impossible. I focused back on the system screen. Next, it dropped another big announcement. System says, based on the emergency unit's latest findings, there are even more traits to tell special people apart. Some took the place of people burned alive, so they show burn marks. There will be 5 visitors today. Homeowners, double check when you screen them. After that, the robotic voice faded away. The H1 kill leaderboard appeared in the group chat. I took a glance. Just as expected. I topped the leaderboard with 6 kills yesterday. I saw that coming, so I'm not surprised. But the second place wasn't Zhao Kai, which caught my interest. Wang Ping, I've never seen that name before. Anyone who's talked in the group, I have at least some memory of. Has this guy just been lurking all along? Never said a word? Xiaowei was standing by the balcony then, staring down below. Seems like she spotted something. Turned and looked my way, shouted in shock. You two stop chatting. Come over here. There are a bunch of people in hazmat suits, with guns downstairs. Tang Xiaoyu and I rushed to the balcony and looked down, where the square was full of bodies before. Now there are 7 or 8 pickup trucks parked. Dozens of soldiers in hazmat suits got out of the cars, with guns strapped on their backs. They're moving the corpses onto the trucks. Soon the square didn't look so gruesome. I'm not the only one who saw it. Other survivors, after seeing the soldiers downstairs, all started cheering. Some gathered at their windows, waving flags and shouting. Others even ran straight downstairs to welcome their saviors. Seeing this, Xiaowei wanted to stand up and shout too. But I grabbed her just as she tried to stand up. What are you doing? Xiaowei grabbed my arm and looked at me innocently. Why are you stopping me? Aren't these guys the emergency unit from the news? Didn't they come here to save us? I facepalmed. Who told you they're here to rescue people? Even before the apocalypse, you can't trust all the news. Now it's the apocalypse. You're still that naive? After what I said, Xiaowei finally calmed down a bit. But this 18-year-old girl always has a rebellious streak deep inside. She kept arguing. I really don't think that's possible. The way we tell special people apart, wasn't that their discovery? If they're not here to help, why come here then? I let out a cold laugh. Good question, so take a guess. Where did they get so many normal people and mutants? To use for their experiments? Now Xiaowei was left speechless. She was really shocked inside. After I pushed Xiaowei into the dorm, I closed the window. You still have a lot to learn. If you want to live here, you need to contribute. I handed Xiaowei the dinner plates from tonight, passing them right to her. Starting today, you'll be in charge of all the chores in the dorm. You just got here a couple days ago, so you still need to adjust. Letting you eat for free a couple days is fine, but you'll have to pay it back. If you think you can get food without doing any work, then you might as well leave now. I won't give Xiaowei any slack, just because she's pretty. If you want shelter and protection, then you have to work for it. Xiaowei stared at the plate, looking surprised. She'd never done this kind of thing before. Tang Xiaoyu sighed, stepped up and got ready to take the plates. Let me do it. You watch and learn first. Soon you'll know how to wash them. I raised my hand to stop Tang Xiaoyu. Let her do it. I'm not giving Xiaowei any chance to slack off. She needs to change her princess attitude. 𝐿 pouted and walked to the sink with the plates. Fine, I'll go. I focused back on the computer. Most hosts are like me, choosing to wait and see, and keeping an eye on surviving the night. There were 5 visitors today. That's the most ever since the apocalypse started. I played on the computer and waited. Around 11 p.m., the first knock came at the door. 𝐁𝐮𝐢 walked over. She opened the viewing window. Hello, if you want to come in, please let us check you. Open your mouth first. Before 𝐁𝐮𝐢 finished talking, she saw the person at the door grinning widely. Their teeth looked way too perfect, and their eyes were blood red, with smoky gray irises. The moment the window opened, he reached inside, trying to unlock the door from within. 𝐁𝐮𝐢 was scared and fell down. 𝐿uji, this guy is a mutant. As I heard that, I moved behind the bow tower. Alright, I got this. This time, I'm using the bow tower to deal with this mutant. Rifle ammo is valuable, and the shop hasn't unlocked more yet. Guess my defense level isn't high enough, so some things are still locked. I aimed the bow tower at the window. It's actually easy to control. 𝐁𝐮𝐢 took the chance to open up the weapon port on the iron door. The mutant's chest was exposed. He noticed the hole in the door, bent over curiously to look inside, but just as he leaned down, an arrow over 1 meter long shot straight at his face. I hit the mutant precisely, in the center of his forehead. Even though a human's skull is the toughest bone in the body, it's still nothing against the bow tower. The arrow went right through his head. His body collapsed to the floor. After cleaning up the body, I wondered if I should let anyone in tonight. Tomorrow night, the pale, lanky guy will check
The dorm.
and there need to be 4 or more survivors inside. So I need to bring in 2 more people. Hope I get lucky. Please, let some human survivors show up. I silently prayed, but it just didn't go that way. All the way until 3 a.m. I ended up getting 4 visitors. All 4 of them were mutants. 3 didn't even pretend, just tried to break in. 1 tried to sneak in, but I shot him dead with an arrow. I guarded the door, feeling worried. If it's like this again tomorrow, we'll have to start over. Better to try surviving out in the wilderness than just waiting to die here. 𝐁𝐮𝐢 tried to comfort me, but she was anxious too. 𝐿 was so stressed she couldn't speak. Until the 5th knock on the door. We all held our breath. Everyone hoped the last visitor would finally be a normal survivor. 𝐁𝐮𝐢 went to the door, opened the window, and set her line as usual. We still have an open spot. If you want in, you'll need to get checked first. A man's voice came from outside the door. No problem, we know the rules. 𝐁𝐮𝐢 pulled out a flashlight and shined it outside. She saw a young man and woman standing in the hallway. This couple didn't look very old. They both seemed to be in their early 20s. The girl was hiding behind her boyfriend, checking out 𝐁𝐮𝐢. And as soon as 𝐁𝐮𝐢 saw them, she looked like she'd seen a ghost. She turned and looked in my direction. 𝐿uji, something's off. There are 2 people outside the door this time. I was stunned too when I heard that. I went up to the peephole to see for myself. There really were 2 people. After seeing us, the guy at the door forced a flattering smile. Sir, ma'am, I'm here with my girlfriend. Is there a problem with that? Are you saying your place can't hold 2 of us? I waved my hand. That's not it. Hold on a sec. Then I closed the peephole. I pulled 𝐁𝐮𝐢 to squat down in the corner. I wasn't sure if I remembered right, so I asked you something. Didn't the news say today that there were 5 visitors today? 𝐁𝐮𝐢 nodded seriously. I remember 5 people too. We both looked at 𝐿. 𝐿 nodded. I heard 5 people too. I scratched my head. Now that's creepy. Visitors have always come in batches today. Not like those entertainers yesterday who tried to rush in. They came all together at once. So there should have been just 5. Right, so why are there 2 outside the door? What does that mean? Buy 1, get 1 free. 𝐁𝐮𝐢 was thinking about this too, and shared his thoughts. 𝐿uji, do you think the news could have been wrong? Maybe they meant 5 groups, not 5 people. And the last group just happens to be 2. 𝐿 stood up to argue. That still doesn't make sense. My dad and I came together, right? Both of us were counted as visitors. 𝐁𝐮𝐢 rubbed her chin. Maybe with time, the news gets things wrong sometimes. I nodded. agreeing with Tang Xiaoyu's guess. That's possible. Don't get worked up yet. Let me go check. I remembered. The chat room isn't muted anymore starting tonight. So, I asked everyone else if they had the same thing happen. But no one had seen anything like this. And my message actually spread in the group. Everyone depends on the news put out by the system every day. To us owners, it's super important.
Honestly.
We owners stay alive based on what the news tells us. If they can't trust it anymore, what are they supposed to believe now? For a moment, I didn't know what to do either. Those two at the door worried about the pale, lanky man. I couldn't tell if I should send them to the police or just let them go. Then came another knock at the door. The guy outside was getting impatient. Bro, if you really don't want to let us in, my girlfriend and I are gonna leave. If we wait any longer, it's gonna get light outside. If we can't find a safe house soon, something bad is gonna happen. I sighed, got ready to let the couple leave, and pinned my hopes on tomorrow. Just as I opened the peephole again, about to tell them to go, a sudden crackling static sound came out of nowhere. Crank radio. Information incorrect. There's an extra person. They slipped past our surveillance. Tang Xiao and Xiaowei stared wide-eyed, and both looked at the crank radio on the shelf. The radio I always used as just a decoration suddenly got a spotty signal. Tang Xiaoyu grabbed my arm in shock. Luji, this radio sounds like it's talking about us today. Yeah, I heard it too. I was shocked as well. I never thought this radio could actually pick up a signal. Guess I'll have to check it out tomorrow. Then, I went back to the couple at the door. If what the radio says is true, then I'm not the only one with this extra visitor today. It's actually a mistake from the response department. If that's the case, then there's nothing to worry about. Just treat them as regular survivors and do the check. Thinking that, I looked at the two outside the door. You guys don't have to leave. My place can fit both of you. But before you come in, you have to do a check. The guy looked relieved. Hurry it up then. It's almost morning. I turned on the flashlight. I know what I'm doing. Don't rush me. Hands out, let me check your fingers. The two reached their hands in together. They barely passed the first check. I shined the flashlight in their eyes next. Everything seemed normal. Last step. You two have to take off your clothes, except for what's needed to cover up. The rest comes off. The guy got mad as soon as he heard that, and pointed at me angrily. What kind of check is this? Are you just trying to check out my girlfriend? That's not happening. Even I haven't seen her like that. Why would you get to? I rolled my eyes at him. I've got two women survivors in my dorm, both better looking than your girlfriend. The guy was still blushing and arguing back. Doesn't matter. We're not staying at your place. We'll just find another house owner reunion. Let's go. Let's go. He was about to leave with his girlfriend. But Liunian shook off his hand. Wang Ming, are you nuts? The sun's about to come up. Where else can we go? If you want to get yourself killed, go ahead. I'm staying right here. Liunian started taking off her camisole after saying that. Honestly, she seemed pretty used to it. Wang Ming didn't dare argue anymore. His eyes teared up. As he pulled off his top, Wang Ming didn't have much of a figure. He was basically skin and bones. Pretty much. Normal, but Liunian's body was worth talking about. When she took it all off, I realized I'd underestimated her. But as I looked at Liunian's back, I saw a black birthmark there. That made me cautious again. Where do you get that black mark on your back? Both Wang Ming and Liunian had a special trait now. If they were actually one person, and I let them in, if the number of one person in the dorm reaches 2 or more, they'd start killing people. Liunian looked back at me, touched the black spot on her back. That's my birthmark. Had it since I was a kid? Wang Ming looked at her in surprise. Babe, you had a birthmark on your back. I never knew. Liunian rolled her eyes.
Duh.
You haven't even seen it. Of course you don't know. At this point, I interrupted their conversation. Show me proof that this is a birthmark. Liunian paused for a moment. He sighed. I don't have any photos from when I was a kid, so I can't show you any evidence. But this really is a birthmark. And I even had a laser treatment for it as a kid. That was when I was about 6. Hearing that, I remembered the test Zhao Kai did before. Most celebrities can't remember distant memories. The farther it is from when they were replaced, the earlier the number, the fuzzier the memory gets. I looked seriously at Lu Nian. That ad with the leopard chasing someone. You know it, right?
Tell me.
Why was the leopard chasing her? Liu Nian and Wang Ming were both stunned. Liu Nian looked at me carefully. Because she has cough syrup. After hearing that, I opened the dorm door. Correct answer. You two can come in. There are only 2 rooms in the apartment. You guys came late, so you'll have to sleep in the living room? As soon as he heard living room, Wang Ming wasn't too happy, but he didn't say anything. But Liu Nian spotted the bed in the master bedroom. Isn't there still a spot? I can take it. I'll sleep here, okay? I just shook my head, turned him down. Nope, you're not qualified. The master bedroom is my room, so you can't sleep here. Liu Nian looked down at the rifle in my hands, then glanced at the bow and arrow tower by the door. He pouted fine. When we get to know each other better, can we sleep together then? When he said sleep, Liu Nian even stressed the word on purpose, but I just stared at him with a straight face. We'll see. Liu Nian winked at me. Alright then, bro. But I don't dare sleep by myself. Hope you'll let your guard down around me soon, when that time comes. I promise you'll be happy with me. After that, Liu Nian headed to the living room. When the door closed, I shivered. 𝐷 and Zhao Wei looked at Liu Nian nearby, mouthed the words "fake nice girl" silently. About half an hour later, it started getting light outside. The computer beeped with a reward notification. The system started calculating settlers' earnings. Number of protected humans, 4. Reward, 800 gold coins. When I heard that, I finally felt relieved. I can finally rest now. The next afternoon, I started thinking about food again. The food I got last time was enough for us for about 5 days. But now with 2 more mouths to feed, that food will only last 3 days. Once it's gone, should I go out and explore? Or just buy more from the store? I'm still debating this. Sure, the outside is dangerous, but there are still humans active out there, like those emergency squads. So because of that, I'm leaning toward going out to gather supplies and saving the gold coins to upgrade the house. So I've made up my mind. After Slender Pale Man's check tonight, I'll have Zhao Kai join me for another run tomorrow. Slender Pale Man showed up 15 minutes earlier than I expected. There were no footsteps in the hallway. That pale face just suddenly pressed against the observation window. His cold eyes swept over the 4 people in the apartment.
He didn't say anything extra.
Just shot me a cold look and left 1 sentence behind. In 2 days, all 6 will disappear just as quietly as they came. He vanished without a sound. After he left, the apartment was still tense. Wang Ming curled up in the corner of the couch, his face full of fear. Liu Nian looked pretty calm, leaning on the wall playing with his hair. I looked at Tang Xiaoyu and Zhao Wei and reminded them tomorrow morning, Zhao Kai and I will go out to look for supplies and maybe find some survivors we can take in. You two stay here and watch the place. If you slip up even a little, you know what'll happen. They both nodded seriously, but Wang Ming asked timidly, what about us? I can help too. Liu Nian kicked him. We'll help keep an eye out too. He's my brother. Be careful when you go out. Bring back as many supplies as you can. I didn't reply to him, turned and went into the bedroom. I divided the bullets up, checked the rifle again, then finally lay down on the bed. It was just getting light. I headed out with my backpack, following the plan with Zhao Kai. We met at the center garden in our complex. There were bodies in the garden. The emergency squad had cleaned them up, just left dark red stains all over the ground, and a strong smell of blood. Zhao Kai was leaning on a dead tree. His machete looked razor sharp. He saw me coming. He gave me a big grin, flashing his big white teeth. That monster came looking for you again last night. I got notified too. They want 5 people in 2 days. The bar's getting higher and higher. I patted him on the shoulder, talked as we walked. We headed for the big mall outside the community. That's the spot we picked last night. There's plenty of supplies in the mall. Enough for everyone back at the apartment. What about those emergency squad guys? What do you think? They cleared the bodies from the garden yesterday. A bunch of residents went to join them. Zhao Kai's face darkened. He spit, calling them suspicious people. I saw last night. They took the bodies to a warehouse on the edge of town. They weren't really getting rid of them, more like moving them for research. I think those beings have something to do with them. That matches what I've been guessing. I nodded. We stayed alert on the way, avoided a few groups of those beings. They seemed smarter than before. Some even learned to ambush in the stairwells. Good thing we work well together. I shot from a distance with the rifle. 𝐷𝐿 fought close up with his machete. Along the way, we took out 3 of them. The system rewarded us with coins. Best sound in the apocalypse. Half an hour later, we made it to the supermarket. One of the doors was half open. It was pitch black inside, cold and creepy feeling in the air. A bunch of shopping carts were tipped over at the entrance. There were a few bodies too, greenish blood everywhere. 𝐷𝐿 and I exchanged a look. He went in first, machete ready. I followed behind with my rifle, turned on my flashlight. The place was a wreck. Shelves knocked down everywhere. Snacks and drinks spilled on the floor. The air stank of rotting food. I swept my flashlight around. Suddenly saw a faint figure behind a shelf, curled up and shaking. I shouted loudly, aimed my rifle at the figure. The figure jumped in fright, looked up with a face full of tears. A girl in her 20s, holding a little girl in her arms. She looked maybe 5 or 6. Both their faces were dirty, eyes full of fear. Please don't shoot. We're humans, really. 𝐷𝐿 walked over, checked their nails and eyes, shook his head at me. They're human, they're fine. The girl relaxed when she saw we meant no harm. Finally breathed a sigh of relief, then broke down crying, holding the little girl. My name is 𝐿innwan. This is my little sister 𝐿innwan. We've been hiding here for 3 days. Those things are everywhere outside. We were too scared to leave. I looked at the sisters. Suddenly had an idea. That's exactly 2 people. If we take them in, we can hit that 6-person number the pale guy wants. I squatted down, looked at the little girl, 𝐿innwan, softened my voice. Wanna come with me? I have a safe house. I can keep you safe. 𝐿innwan was stunned, then nodded like crazy, eyes shining bright, like seeing hope at last. We'll go with you. 𝐷𝐿 and I packed up supplies. 𝐿innwan and 𝐿innwan helped out. The little girl was really good. She didn't cry or fuss, just grabbed her sister's clothes, peeking at me. There was even more in the supermarket than we thought. I filled 2 backpacks. Biscuits, canned food, and bottled water. Enough for everyone in the apartment for half a month. Back at the apartment, 𝐷𝐿 and 𝐷𝐿 saw me bring 2 people back, and 2 full backpacks. They all looked surprised and happy. Came to help right away. Wang Ming and Liu Nian walked over too. Saw the Lin sisters. Liu Nian seemed about to say something, but stayed quiet in the end. Now there were 6 people squeezed into the apartment. It was a bit cramped, but at least we matched the pale man's requirement for now. If we can survive, a little crowd isn't so hard to take. 𝐷𝐿 came to me, handed me a bottle of water. What's the plan now? That thing. Who knows how many it'll want next time. I took a sip of water, looked at the red moon outside, eyes determined. Defend this apartment. Find more survivors to upgrade our defenses. No matter if it's one of them or that pale man. Anyone who wants a piece of me will have to step over my dead body first. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. I froze and checked the time.
Exactly midnight.
People should be sleeping now. So why is someone knocking? Don't tell me those things can show up during the day now. With all these questions, I cautiously checked the peephole. There were 2 people outside in hazmat suits, holding guns. It was the emergency rescue team. One of them spoke. Tomorrow we'll be taking someone from your place. Just here to let you know today. I stared. Why do I have to give you someone? We're informing you, not asking for your opinion. If you refuse, he shook his gun. Then don't blame us if things get ugly. Then they turned and left. I closed the peephole, opened up the system chat room, tried to reach Jiang Kai, wanted to check on him, sent a few messages, waited a long time, no answer. Maybe something happened, I thought. 𝐷𝐿 brought me a bowl of instant noodles. Even though I brought back 2 backpacks of food, we're getting more people all the time, so we still need to ration. I had 𝐷𝐿 give everyone a bottle of water, and either instant noodles or bread. 𝐿innwan's a kid, still growing, so we gave her an extra pack of cookies. Eating my noodles. I thought about all this, but the culinary rescue team is also coming to take someone tomorrow. But I only have just enough people to handle the pale man. if I give someone up during the day? What if the pale man comes at night? Just as I was getting a headache, I suddenly heard someone crying nearby. I walked over. What's wrong? 𝐿𝐚𝐽𝐚 was sitting on the couch, crying. Liu Nian was standing by the couch, holding a pack of cookies. He saw me coming over, and quickly said, "Brother, I didn't eat enough just now. I saw this little girl not eating her cookies, so I helped her eat a few." I was speechless. "You're just freeloading here, and even snatching food from a kid." At that moment, Wang Ming said, "𝐿𝐚𝐽𝐚 is hungry too. How about giving us a bit more to eat?" I couldn't help but laugh. Do these people have any idea what time it is now? They still think it's like before, and you can just buy food from the store anytime? I ignored Wang Ming and looked at Liu Nian. "Tonight you'll check the visitors. Here, no one eats for free without working." As soon as Liu Nian heard this, he came over. "Brother, are you gonna check the guests with me?" I pushed him away. "Do it yourself." Then I went to 𝐿𝐚𝐽𝐚 and said to Lin Wan, who was holding her, "You can't stand up to one person. You don't dare fight back? Why do you let people push you around without fighting back?" Lin Wan looked at me, her eyes red. I looked at them and felt a headache coming on. I went back to my room. Just then, Tang Xiaoyu came in. "Lu, who do you want to give up tomorrow?" I patted her head. I still don't know much about this culinary rescue team, or where they're from. They didn't even say what they need this person for. But don't worry, no matter what, I won't give you up. She finally felt relieved and left. Soon it was nighttime. I told Tang Xiao to keep an eye on Liu Nian, just in case he let someone in. Xiaowei manned the arrow tower, and I had everyone work together. I opened up the system chat room, just as expected. Everyone was discussing who to give up tomorrow. Host A, where'd this culinary rescue team come from? Anyone know? Host B, we all have to hand over someone tomorrow.
Hey, hosts.
Have you picked someone yet? Host C, just let them take someone. No way I'm giving in. What happens if we don't? I looked it over carefully, and after these past few days, only about 20 hosts are online. Messages kept coming in. Zhang Kai still hasn't replied to my DM. Just then, Tang Xiaoyu called me. "Lu." I hurried out of the bedroom. "What's wrong?" Tang Xiaoyu was wiping sweat off her face. "The visitor tonight is a bit weird. A lot stronger than yesterday, and acting even more aggressive." I was shocked. The evolvers are progressing faster than I thought. I stepped outside and saw Liu Nian sitting on the floor by the door, hugging his arm and shaking nonstop. He kept mumbling, "That's so scary." I looked at Tang Xiaoyu confused. While checking an evolver earlier, one of them scratched Liu Nian. But Xiaowei took out the evolver. Tang Xiaoyu frowned. Liu Nian just got scared. I checked the door and saw several dents in the steel plates. I'm at level 3 defense now, and it still got this damaged? Looks like I need to upgrade defenses soon. If I can't keep up with the evolver's upgrades, they'll bust in sooner or later. Just then, Liu Nian suddenly hugged my leg. "Brother, please let me do something else. I don't want to check the visitors. It's too scary." I tried to move my leg, but he was holding on so tight. I couldn't shake him off for a second. "So you want to go out and look for supplies?" Liu Nian shook his head. "Want to go kill an evolver and earn gold for me?" Liu Nian shook his head again. I kicked him away. "You don't want to do this or that. And now you're getting picky?" Just then, Wang Ming saw me kicking Liu Nian and rushed over to help. "Hey, what are you doing? How can you treat my baby like that?" I raised an eyebrow at him. "What, you don't like it?" Wang Ming paused. "Can we talk this out?" He looked down and told Liu Nian, "Let's go over there and ignore him. If it weren't for that pale guy needing a head count, I wouldn't even let them through the door." Waited until dawn. As expected, I heard that familiar system settlement sound again. System is starting to settle. Host Lu Ji, humans sheltered. 6. Received 800 gold coins as a reward. Got 400 more for kills. Received 2-star gift packs for kills. Seeing the kill reward, I was really surprised. Xiaowei operated the arrow tower tonight. Didn't expect I'd still get rewards. Is it because it's the system's arrow tower? I'll have to double check that later.
But
I looked up at Lin Wan and Lin 𝐚𝐽𝐚, confused. Why didn't I get coins for sheltering those two? looking at the numbers. They're obviously real people. Right then, I noticed a red exclamation point next to the system. I clicked to see. Safe house is over capacity. Need to level up to shelter more people. Also, increasing comfort level can boost gold payout. Then it clicked for me. Turns out there's a shelter limit for the safe house. Looking around at this space, it's way too small. Forget about comfort. We can't even fit everyone in the living room right now. I opened the system, checked my account balance. Still not enough coins. I've got 2 urgent things now. 1. I need to up the safe house defenses ASAP. 2. Increase the number of people it can hold. If I can bump up the comfort level, I'll get more coins too. So basically, if I get enough people, I could earn coins non-stop every day. And upgrading defenses can wait till tomorrow, or when I have more coins later. Thinking of this, I quickly opened the store to the upgrade page. Found house upgrades. Selected more bedrooms and side rooms. The house suddenly shook a bit. By the bedrooms and side rooms, there were renovation sounds. It's like there's an invisible wall in the air blocking things. Waited about half an hour. The renovation sounds finally stopped. I looked over beside the new bedrooms and side rooms and saw a new door. I opened it and went inside. Looks like about 50 more square meters added. Can fit 4 beds each. I bought beds in the store and placed them. Got 8 knit stands to go by the beds too. Left the other stuff for later for now. Now, having a clean bed and being able to actually sleep is already pretty comfortable. I renamed the old bedroom to bedroom 1. Side room 1. Named the new ones bedroom 2. And side room 2. Wang Ming looked at the new bedroom and side room. Happy, he said. Can me and the baby stay here now? I nodded. This bedroom is for you and you too. I pointed at Wang Ming and Liu Nian, then at Lin Wan and Nianian. You 4 will share this room. Liu Nian pouted. Brother, that's a lot of people in this room. I want to sleep with you. Or I could just take side room 2. I looked at him calmly. If you don't want a bed, then keep sleeping out there. Back in the living room, Liu Nian reluctantly went into bedroom 2. I got ready to go sleep in bedroom 1. Saw Xiaowei waiting by the bedroom door. Obviously waiting for me. What's wrong? Xiaowei had her hands together, nervously looking at me. Seeing her like that, I opened the bedroom door and said, "Come in." She walked in after me, then hurried to say, "I'm pretty good at running the arrow tower now." I nodded. You learn fast. So does that mean I count as someone who's helping out? That's when I realized what she was asking. I teased her on purpose. Didn't you want to join the cooking rescue team before? Now's your chance. I don't know what those guys want people for, but I bet their place is way better than mine. Maybe you even get your own room. Before I could finish, tears suddenly rolled down Xiaowei's cheeks. I don't want to go. I'll learn to do more things. Don't give me away, please. I smiled and asked, if you can't let me go, then don't go. Xiaowei blushed, stomped her foot and ran off. I want to stay here. After Xiaowei left, I lay on the bed, thinking, this cooking rescue team wants each house owner to hand over someone. But for what? To grow their team, maybe? I fell asleep wondering about it. When I woke up and checked my phone, it was already 3 p.m. I stepped out the door, saw Xiaowei on the balcony looking outside. I walked over, saw 2 cars parked down in the little garden. A dozen people in hazmat suits, with guns surrounded the entrance of a nearby building. They looked like they were on high alert, like they were in a standoff with something inside. I asked Xiaowei what was up. About half an hour ago, the 2 cars pulled up. They've been surrounding the place ever since. I zoomed in on that building. Today's weather was clear. Sun shining off the glass next door, making it really bright. Suddenly, I wondered, could that pale guy be him? Then, I saw those people outside finally make a move. They split up and sent some into the building. Soon the rest followed them inside too. Then all of a sudden, the building shook. A huge blast hit. Next came the flames. And non-stop screaming. Some people were on fire, jumping from upstairs. But it was way too high. They still crazily jumped out anyway. The ground below turned red with blood. Looked like a field of red flowers. Seeing all that, Xiaowei covered her mouth and gasped. My heart skipped a beat. Something bad is going down. And sure enough, in less than an hour, another car showed up. A few people got out. ignored the burning building, and charged in. Soon I saw them carrying a black bag. They came out, jumped in the car, and sped off. What was that thing so important the 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 rescue team would risk all those lives for? What could it be? Whole afternoon felt tense. I sat on the couch playing a game on my phone. No one else came out of their rooms. If those rescue team guys try to take someone, we'll see whose gun is better. Right then, I heard a knock at the door. Finally, I could breathe. They're here. I opened the door. Sure enough, it was armed rescue team members in hazmat suits. They saw me open up. How many people you got here? Got room for more. I froze. What does that mean? The team member looked embarrassed and said, one of our teammates is injured. We want to find a homeowner to take us in. I looked behind him. Sure enough, there was a teammate standing behind. He was supporting someone who was burned and all charred. I do have room here, but I need to check first.
He quickly said, I understand.
According to the rules, I checked, then stepped aside to let them in. I pointed at room 2 and said, go inside. The two of them helped the injured guy in. After they settled him down, that teammate came back out. He introduced himself. I'm Feng Hui, captain of this team. That's Li Kong. The injured one is Wang Gang. We survived the explosion earlier. At this moment, Tang Xiao asked, then why not go back to the chef rescue team? Feng Hui gave a bitter smile. We failed the mission. According to the rules, we'd be punished if we went back. Besides, no one knows the 3 of us are still alive. I asked, what's your punishment? Feng Hui didn't answer, so I didn't keep asking. No one else came knocking all evening. Looks like the chef rescue team isn't coming today. The call system voice sounded right on time. From today on, the system will no longer reveal artist features. An update will follow soon. With the artist kill leaderboard, top 3 homeowners get extra rewards. From now on, visitors won't be counted. All homeowners, do your best to stay alive. I was totally stunned after hearing this. Have the mutants evolved? To the point even the system can't tell anymore. Cold sweat ran down my back. Now the system can't even track visitor numbers. What on earth happened? If we can't get info through the system, how are we supposed to make it? At that moment, I saw Zhang Kai had replied to my private message. Zhang Kai, brother, I'm in deep trouble here. When I got back from outside yesterday, I found a real person in my place killed by a mutant. I was shocked. Lu Ji, didn't you check things carefully? Zhang Kai, no. I just couldn't tell. Now there's only 2 of us left in my place tonight. If that monster shows up, I'll probably die before morning. If I don't reply to you tomorrow, come get all my supplies. Lu Ji, come over to my place. Zhang Kai, no way. I tried letting in another homeowner, but right at midnight, that homeowner self-destructed. I closed the chat window. It's almost visitor time now. I can't go help. Just hope Zhang Kai gets through this. At that moment, Tang Xiao walked over holding that radio. Lu, the radio just made some noise. I took it. The radio kept crackling. Before long, there was cheering. Someone shouted loudly, Roadman A. We won this battle. Then lots of people were cheering together. Waited a bit longer, but then there was no more sound. I asked Tang Xiaoyu what the radio said earlier. It made some noise once before. I've been tinkering with it the past couple days. Just now when I changed the channel, I heard this channel talking, but lots of people were talking then. I couldn't understand what they said. I put the radio down. No idea how many visitors might come tonight. Let's get ready just in case. Okay, I'll go let them know. Tang Xiaoyu left after finishing. Soon there was loud, angry knocking on the door. Whoever was outside sounded desperate. The door shook and rumbled from all the banging. Liu Nian went to open the door and check. As soon as he opened the peephole, we heard his piercing scream. I looked up. Liu Nian quickly backed away. A skinny, hard, black arm reached in through the peephole. The arm was thin, stiff, and pitch black. Each of the 5 fingers was sharp with a bluish-black tint. Luckily, Liu Nian reacted fast and got away just in time. Otherwise, if he got grabbed, he'd be torn up for sure. I hurried to the kitchen and grabbed some kitchen knives, swung them around and picked the best one. The banging on the door never stopped. Dust kept falling from all the pounding. I walked to the door. That arm was still grabbing everywhere. I weighed the knife in my hand and swung down hard. A shriek came from outside. Green blood splattered everywhere. The hand fell to the floor. The fingers twitched a few times, then froze. The pounding briefly stopped. Then it only got louder and stronger. That doesn't sound like knocking. It sounds more like they're smashing the door. 4 or 5 arms reached through the observation window. They were grabbing wildly in every direction. I grabbed the cleaver and hacked another one off. Go get Wang Ming out here. Stop hiding in there and playing dead. Tang Xiao heard me and rushed in to get him. A moment later, Wang Ming came out shaking. Go to the kitchen and find a cleaver. Wang Ming was stalling in the kitchen. Feng Hui saw what was happening and went straight to the kitchen to grab a cleaver. The two of us stood on either side of the door. Several hands reached in through the door, and we hacked them off one by one. Before long, we chopped off over a dozen hands. The banging outside finally stopped. I took the chance to open the weapon port. I told Xiaowei, shoot, now. Screams erupted from the hallway one after another. I waited a moment, then grabbed my gun and rushed out. Several mutants killed by Xiaowei lay at the door. Not far away, a few more mutants stood there with mangled limbs. Seeing the door open, they roared and charged again. I didn't blink as I blew their heads off. Gray matter dripped from the ceiling. The hallway was covered in green slime. The stench was unbearable, and that was only the first wave. No wonder the system stopped counting visitors. The situation is impossible to track now. I hurried back to the room, opened the system shop, found the tools section, and bought several wood axes. My level isn't high enough yet, so I can't buy firearms from the shop. But killing those mutants just now earned me a decent bit of gold. I gave a wood axe to Feng Hui. He's clearly had professional training. His strikes are fast, ruthless, and precise. I went back to drag Wang Ming out and handed him an axe too, covered in the thick green slime from earlier. I gave him a cold, hard look. When the next one comes, you're charging first. Otherwise, I'll hack you down myself. Wang Ming nodded frantically, clutching the axe. Suddenly, the hair on my neck stood up. I turned around. The pale, slender man had appeared out of nowhere. He smiled at me from the door. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Looks like you've had quite a battle. I snapped back. Yeah, I have 9 people here now. That's way more than your quota. I've even finished the next one. The pale man heard this, squinted as he scanned the room, and smiled. You have good luck, Mr. Liu. However, who told you the next requirement would be a body count? I froze. Then what is it? The man smiled. We'll see next time. I'm looking forward to it. With that, he vanished instantly. I stared at where he had been standing. Who exactly is this pale guy? And who is issuing these tasks? Before I could finish the thought, a pack of mutants appeared at the end of the hall. I slammed the door shut and told everyone to get to work. By the first light of dawn, I lowered my gun, gasping for air. I looked at Feng Hui, who was leaning on his axe. Which wave was that? Feng Hui's voice was raspy. The 4th.
Any more? I shook my head.
Lu Ji. It's light out. They're gone. The sound of gold coin alerts had rung in my head all night. My nerves were totally numb. Liu Nian, Yuan Lin Wang, clean up the entrance. I looked at Wang Ming and patted his shoulder. Good job. He collapsed to his knees under my touch and started retching uncontrollably. I hurried back to bedroom 1. I was exhausted after the long night. I needed to wash up and get some sleep. When I finally woke up, I checked my phone. It was already 5 p.m. Thinking of Zhang Kai, I quickly opened our private chat. Zhang Kai, buddy, how are you holding up? I checked the chat room too, and saw that over half the owner's lights were out. Only a few people were talking. Owner A, crap. A wave of them came last night. Lucky I had a gym bro here with me. Owner B, yesterday. The catering rescue team took someone from my place. They said that from now on, they'll take 1 person every day. I watched the chat for a while. Zhang Kai still hadn't replied. I closed the chat window, planning to wait until dawn. If he still hasn't replied, I'll go find him. I walked to the entrance and looked at the steel door. After last night, this door was a total wreck. It definitely won't last through tonight. I opened the system shop, found the upgrades, and clicked upgrade doors and windows. Construction sounds came from the entrance. I waited for over half an hour, until the noise finally died down. The new door was 3 times thicker than before. The window mounts went from steel nails to steel pillars. Door and window upgrades complete. Now I need another arrow tower. Thinking of this, I opened the weapons tab and found a heavy crossbow. It's more powerful and can even fire in bursts. I checked my gold coins. It's twice as expensive as the arrow tower, but the damage is much higher. I bit the bullet and bought it anyway. Directly across from the arrow tower, construction sounds rang out again. Once the noise stopped, a heavy crossbow station appeared. I sat in it to test it out and found it has auto-aim. I can even set it to target mutants or humans. Guess you really do get what you pay for. After trying it out for a bit, I checked the other weapons in the shop. I really wanted to buy them all, but they cost way too much gold. I clicked back to the shop's homepage and saw that meat was finally unlocked in the food tab. As soon as I looked, my stomach started growling like crazy. After eating nothing but instant meals and snacks, these pictures of meat looked incredible. Looking at the juicy photos, I could almost smell the savory aroma. I could practically taste that perfect texture. My mouth was watering uncontrollably. But the prices were insane. Who would pay 1,000 coins for a plate of ribs? You'd have to kill 10 mutants for one plate. After all, instant noodles are only 50 coins. Only a sucker would buy that. Just then, Xiaowei walked out. She saw me standing at the door, holding a plate in each hand. She asked, "Brother Lu, what are you grinning at the door for?" I quickly said, "Go tell everyone to come eat. We're having a feast tonight." When the others came out, they saw 2 huge plates of ribs on the coffee table, along with a massive bowl of steaming rice. They all started cheering. I took the chance to say, "You all worked hard last night. I bought this with the coins from last night's kills. Let's keep up the good work tonight." As darkness fell, the banging started right on schedule. Maybe it was the ribs we ate, but everyone seemed to have more energy. Or maybe they just wanted more ribs tomorrow. Everyone was working hard. Even Liu Ning was smashing someone on the head with an iron rod. As he hit, he kept mumbling, "Souvenir," one plate of ribs after another. After the fight ended, I checked my private messages again. Jiang Kai hadn't replied all night. I thought I'd go take a look, see how Feng Hui was doing. Did he still have any strength left? If he did, I'd take him out with me. Then I looked at Wang Ming. "And you don't run. Do you still want some ribs?" As soon as I mentioned ribs, Wang Ming's eyes lit up. He immediately grabbed the hatchet and went outside. "What are you two waiting for? Hurry it up." Feng Hui and I exchanged a glance. We rushed to follow. We arrived at the place Jiang Kai had mentioned before, the packing garage security office. It was really late at night. Visitor hours had just ended. The only footsteps were the 3 of us, echoing in the empty underground lot. As we walked, I didn't know why, but I was feeling increasingly uneasy. The silence was way too much. It was eerily quiet all around. There wasn't even a breeze. Suddenly, heavy footsteps came from ahead. Thud, thud, the floor even shook. I immediately gripped my rifle tighter, lowered my voice, and told Feng Hui and Wang Ming to stick to the wall, using the flashlight's faint beam. I saw a huge shadow round the support pillar ahead. Something massive turned the corner. It was over 3 meters tall, covered head to toe in dark green scales, dragging a thick tail behind it. But the weirdest part was that its upper body actually had female features. It even had long hair on its head. Wang Ming's legs gave out from fear, nearly dropping to his knees. Shaking, he asked what kind of monster that was. I kicked Wang Ming's leg, telling him to shut up. That dino woman monster seemed to hear us. She snapped her head around, her bloodshot eyes fixed right on us. Then came an ear-piercing scream. Her huge body charged at us like a tank. I didn't hesitate. I opened fire right away. The rifle spat out bullets with muzzle flash, rattling off her scales, sparks flying off. This thing's defense was insane. Feng Hui wasn't just standing there. He moved to flank her, swung the hatchet hard at her leg. The monster recoiled in pain, roaring angrily. With a sudden swipe of her tail, she sent a scrapped car flying nearby. While her head was turned, I aimed at her bloodshot eyes. Quick burst, hit right on target. Green blood splattered instantly. The monster screeched in agony, grabbing its eyes and thrashing around. Seizing the chance, I grabbed Feng Hui, pulled the limp Wang Ning up, and rushed into the security office deeper in the lot. The iron door was half open. I kicked it fully open. Rifle up, aiming inside. No one inside. Jiang Kai was gone. A layer of dust covered the desk. Looks like he left in a hurry a long time ago. The supply boxes in the corner were a total mess. Thankfully, a lot of things were still left. Then I saw a line written in blood on the desk, all scrawled and crooked. It said, "The rescue team is killing people." Ranai felt a chill in my gut. So all my suspicions were right. That so-called rescue team wasn't here to help. They were here to wipe out us elite residents. Feng Hui stared at that bloody writing, his face pale as a ghost. I didn't waste a second, quickly packing up all the food and water left in the office, stuffing them in our backpacks. We stuffed 3 big bags full. Wang Ming finally snapped out of it and kept asking, "What do we do now?" Face cold, I tossed him the heaviest bag to carry. I said, "Let's go home now. Can't stay here long." On the way back, we avoided the monster's noises and sprinted straight home to the safe house. Just as we reached the apartment door, I smelled the strong stench of blood. A wave of dread hit me. I pushed open the heavy armored door. The living room was dead silent. Tang Xiaoyu and Zhao Wei huddled terrified in a corner, shaking all over. Wang Ming caught the scent of blood and bolted like crazy into bedroom 2. Right after, we heard his anguished scream. I rushed over, gun ready. What I saw next made my grip tighten on the gun. Liu Nian was lying lifeless in a pool of blood, her body brutally mutilated. Wang Ming collapsed on the floor, bawling his eyes out. He turned, staring at me with bloodshot eyes, and yelled, "Who did this? In this sealed safe house? There's no way anyone from outside could break in. The killer has to be one of us." My cold gaze swept over everyone in the living room. Tang Xiaoyu's eyes were red from crying, and she just kept shaking her head. She said she'd been keeping watch in the living room with Xiao Wei all night. She never even went inside. Xiao Wei was so scared she hid behind me. My eyes then landed on the injured Wang Gang and Lin Wan standing close by. Suddenly something came to mind. I remembered something from last night's summary. When I brought Lin Wan and Nianian back last night, the system didn't count them as rescued humans. There was no gold reward either. I thought it was a host level limit at the time. But now I know that's not it. I quickly raised my rifle and chambered a round. The dark barrel aimed right at Lin Wan's head. I sneered and asked her if she was done acting. Lin Wan instantly put on a look of total terror. She burst into tears in a second. Crying, she said, "Lu, what are you doing? Why are you pointing a gun at me?" Xiao Wei tugged at my sleeve and said, "Lu, you've got it wrong. There's no way Lin Wan could be one of those creatures. She can't be one of them." I ignored them, my finger resting on the trigger. "Why didn't the system reward you yesterday?" Lin Wan instantly stopped crying. Her pitiful face went blank in a flash. I looked at Wang Gang, still pretending to be weak on the floor. "And you're the mole the Kuking rescue team sent, aren't you?" As soon as I said it, Wang Gang and Lin Wan exchanged a glance. Suddenly both of them attacked at once. Wang Gang's burnt skin split open in an instant, sprouting countless sharp, dark blue spikes.
He lunged at me like a giant spider.
Lin Wan's face twisted even more. Her eyes turned into creepy gray fog. Her nails shot out, half a foot long and razor sharp. I stayed totally calm. My rifle spat fire. Bang, bang. 2 loud shots. The bullets perfectly blew through Wang Gang's head. Yellow and white slime splattered across the wall. He didn't even have time to scream. He just collapsed hard. Seeing this, Lin Wan let out a shrill scream. She spun around and grabbed Nianian by her tiny neck. Her claws pressed right onto the girl's skin. She threatened me in a voice like sandpaper. "Drop your gun or I'll snap this brat's neck." Nianian was so scared she couldn't even cry. She just looked at me with desperate, pleading eyes. My eyes went cold as steel. In the tomb, the last thing you do is give in to threats. I didn't even blink. I fired the trigger without hesitation.
Bang!
The bullet zipped right past Nianian's head. It hit Lin Wan right between the eyes. The force slammed Lin Wan backward. She flew back with no chance to fight. She didn't even get to struggle. Her body quickly melted into a puddle of stinking green ooze. Wang Ming collapsed on the floor, completely petrified. He never would have guessed. Gentle Lin Wan would turn out to be a monster. Feng Hui was pale too. He went over to Wang Gang's remains and searched. Pretty quickly, he dug a black cum from the pile of clothes. The communicator was buzzing with static. Then a cold man's voice rang out. Has target room 2 been cleared? Copy. Respond. Feng Hui's hands shook so much he almost dropped the cum. He looked at me, eyes full of disbelief. I walked over with a dead look and stomped the communicator to pieces. So that's the host's deadly secret. The cooking rescue team never came to save anyone. They hide monsters as survivors, sneak them into high-level safe houses, then slaughter everyone from inside and cover it up. Then someone comes to loot the place. Those avatars in the chat room, the ones that vanished, and those silent dead hosts. They were all victims of this dirty trick. After killing those 2 high-level mutants, the system chimed in with sweet notifications. Congrats, host, on killing 2 elite infiltrators. You earned 5,000 gold coins. You got 2 high-tier kill packs. Hearing the 5,000 gold hit my account, I finally felt relieved. That's a fortune, enough to turn my whole situation around. I opened the system panel. My account balance had me over the moon. I didn't hesitate at all and opened the store screen right away. Found the safe house upgrade option and upgraded my apartment to level 5 without a second thought. Right when I confirmed, the whole building seemed to come alive. Loud restructuring noises echoed around me. The space all around expanded right before my eyes. The tiny living room turned into a big command hall. The walls switched to super thick composite armor, steel plating. The balconies were now closed off with blast-proof glass and alloy railings. The security door became a hydraulic steel door with a red demon lock. But that's not even the best part. The system chimed again clearly. Congrats, host. Your safe house is now level 5. The arsenal shop is now fully unlocked. You can now spend coins to buy guns and ammo. I rubbed my hands in excitement. Opened the weapons shop. The whole screen was full of military-grade gear. SMGs, heavy machine guns, and high-explosive grenades. Even heavy sniper rifles. No more firepower anxiety for me. I spent 2,000 coins and got myself a brand new, exceptional grade assault rifle. And for Feng Hui, I grabbed an SMG with a red dot sight. Also loaded up with 1,000 rounds of ammo. Picked up 10 grenades and packed them in my tactical vest.
The rest.
I spent it all stocking water and premium meat. Now my safe house is truly a fortress. Even the air is thick, with the comforting smell of oil and ammo. After a night of terror and fighting, everyone was on edge. Once the Nyan accident was handled, and we had a hot meal, everyone but me crashed on their beds. I stayed on guard, sitting by the reinforced window, and kept watch until dawn. Around noon, I woke Feng Hui up. Since we exposed the cooking rescue team's trick, there's no way we're just sitting here. We have to fight back. Time to look for more ammo, supplies, and answers. I told Tang Shaol and Xiaowei to lock the hydraulic door and watch the place. Took Feng Hui with me, and fully geared up, we headed out again. The world outside was even more ruined than before. The once busy streets were now all wreckage and rubble. People drifted in the dark corners, but this time with plenty of ammo. If anyone showed their face, I'd shoot without a second thought and collect gold coins. Feng Hui and I headed the way of the abandoned police car, searching as we went. Walked about 2 kilometers. The buildings around me got bigger and stranger. Right at the edge of the city ruins, I stopped walking. On the ground not far away, a wide armored passage appeared. A massive steel gate towered into the sky, blocking the middle of the road. A few big red letters sprayed on the gate. Area isolation. Passageway. Beside it, rows of barbed wire were forcefully broken. Seeing all this, a sudden idea flashed in my mind. Turns out all the regions aren't cut off. Zone A and other zones are actually connected. These isolation gates prove it. Maybe the main force of the culinary rescue team isn't from here. They came in from other zones. Just as I was checking out the steel gate, a cold wind blew by. Goosebumps ran down my back. That feeling of being watched by a deadly snake hit again. I slowly turned my head. On top of a nearby abandoned car, that tall, pale man was standing there. No idea when he showed up. Wearing that silver robe as always. A creepy smile on his pale face. under the blazing sun.
He didn't even cast a shadow.
He stared at me, clapped his hands, his tone oddly approving. He said, "Mr. Luigi, you really surprised me. Advanced to level 5 safe house so fast. And you see through this pitiful game." I lifted my rifle hanging on my chest, stared at him coldly. I said, "Stop acting spooky here. What's your deal with the culinary rescue team?" The pale man suddenly burst out laughing. His laugh screeched like nails on a chalkboard. He floated down from the car roof, landing not far from me.
He said, "Mr. Liu,
You thought this was just a simple kill fist? Haven't you realized yet? There's actually a bunch of people above it all, using some secret way, watching every homeowner. Everything you do, your fear and despair, are just their research and entertainment data. The culinary rescue team. They're just plants sent by them." Hearing this shocking secret, my pupils shrank suddenly, monitoring all the homeowners. If that's the case, then behind this apocalypse hides a massive dark hand. I asked why he told me all this, and what's his purpose. The pale man's grin faded. A complex light flashed in his deep eyes. He said, "The enemy's enemy is the useful pawn. I hope you can play this round. Take a dead-end move. Maybe we'll have a fun collaboration to drag out those people behind the monitors." I snorted, asked, "Why should I trust you?" Right then, distant off-road engines screeched. The culinary rescue team's convoy was closing in. The pale man started fading away, melting into the air. He left one last sentence.
He said, "If you want to survive,
Your own strength is tiny. You need true fighters. Go find the ones not corrupted yet. We'll meet again soon." After that, he disappeared completely. I signaled to Feng Hui, quickly hid behind cover nearby. The convoy stopped not far away. A group of fully armed rescue members jumped out, started searching for survivors nearby. Feng Hui and I were looking for a chance to retreat. Then we heard intense gunfire coming from an abandoned supermarket just dozens of meters away. There was fierce fighting. The night was lit up by flames. Someone was going head-to-head with the culinary rescue squad. I peeked out from behind cover to get a look. Fiery blasts kept shooting out from inside the abandoned supermarket. A few men, covered in blood, were fighting for their lives, using the shelves for cover. They were all holding basic weapons bought from the system shop. Facing them were well-equipped rescue squad members. Those in hazmat suits kept closing in step by step. I recognized several people in the supermarket. They were the advanced room owners who survived the chat room. Looks like they also figured out the secret behind the room owners' deaths. Now, the ones who've learned the truth have teamed up with the owners. They aren't just sitting around waiting to die anymore. They chose to fight back. But the power gap is just huge. Early-stage weapons from the system shop can't even punch through a hazmat suit. I watched as those few owners were about to be surrounded and wiped out by the rescue team. I was well aware that, on your own, you're nothing compared to an organized squad. If I charged out now, I'd just be throwing my life away. I have to build a strong team. Right then, the side wall of the supermarket blew open with a huge hole. Bricks and debris flew everywhere. As three agile figures rushed in through the dust and smoke, they moved sharply, and their tactics were perfectly in sync. With quick moves and military knives, they slit two squad members' throats in a flash. My eyes lit up. There's no doubt these were highly trained special forces. They didn't have guns, but their fighting skills were lethal. While the rescue team's formation was a mess, I signaled to Feng Hui. We opened fire from the side at the same time. The upgraded assault rifle was insanely powerful. A hail of bullets instantly tore through the rescue team's defenses. The special ops soldiers reacted fast, picking up the guns on the ground and returned fire. In under 2 minutes, our group wiped out the entire rescue squad. Once the smoke cleared, those three special ops soldiers aimed their guns at us, pointing right at Feng Hui and me. The rescued owners just sat on the ground, gasping for breath. I lowered my gun and raised my hands to show I meant no harm. The leader was a rugged guy with a scarred face. He stared me down coldly. He asked who I was. I told him I was the owner of a level 5 safe house. If it wasn't for me firing just now, it wouldn't have been so easy for them to get out. The three soldiers exchanged glances. The scar-faced one lowered his gun. He said they were survivors from Tiger Squad. After the apocalypse started, they survived this long thanks to their skills. but their supplies were gone. They'd been starving for 3 days straight. Hearing that, I couldn't help but grin. This was basically a team of elite bodyguards delivered right to me. I opened my tactical backpack and pulled out some top-quality braised beef I just bought from the store, plus a few juicy roast drumsticks. The rich smell of meat instantly filled the air. The soldiers' Adam's apples bobbed hard. They stared straight at the chicken and beef in my hands. I tossed each drumstick to them one by one. I told them, "Stick with me. There's food and guns for you." That's just an introduction. My safe house is always fully stocked. In this apocalypse, the hardest thing to find is trust and strength. If you guys join my team, I promise you'll get to live like humans. Scarface tore off a big piece of chicken and devoured it. Chewing, he exchanged looks with the other two. Finally, he nodded hard.
He said as long as they can eat their fill.
And kill those monsters. Then Tiger Squad is mine to command. With these 3 special forces on board, the first step for my team was a success. I handed them extra ammo and asked if the room owners we just saved had any plans. They laughed bitterly and said their safe houses were trashed. They were planning to go to another area to find the main group. After wishing each other luck, we split up. I led Feng Hui and the special ops team to retreat. Right then, from the shadow in the corner, a familiar figure slowly stepped out. It was that tall, pale guy. The soldiers instantly raised their guns at him. I held down their barrels and said he was with us. The pale man still had that weird smile on his face. He looked at the special ops behind me and said, "Mr. Lu, you sure are efficient. Now that you have a team, let's officially start working together." I asked him what he wanted to team up for. The pale man threw me an old map.
He said the Culinary Rescue Squad
has a hidden lab nearby. That's where you'll find your answers. But there's something nasty guarding the outside. After that, he vanished again like smoke. I caught the map and took a closer look. The location was an abandoned factory near the isolation corridor. I smirked. If we're fighting back, we have to strike at the root. So I waved the team forward and headed straight for that factory. Half an hour later, we were sneaking up by the factory's barbed wire fence. The main gate was shut tight. The yard was full of broken metal cages and scattered bones. Pressing against the wall, I peeked inside. Suddenly, a spine-chilling growl echoed out. Giant dogs, as big as calves, stepped out from the shadows. These dogs were rotting all over, with twisted muscles bulging outside. Their mouths were full of knife-like fangs. Their claws dug deep into the concrete. "They're mutant dogs," Scarface whispered. He warned these creatures have insanely sharp senses. If they spot us, we'll get swarmed by the rescue team. I narrowed my eyes and drew my military knife from my waist. I said, "No guns. We have to take them out quietly." The 5 of us spread out immediately, working together. I used the system shop to buy some bloody raw meat. I threw the meat hard to the other side of the yard. The mutant dogs smelled blood and jumped on it right away as they lowered their heads to feed. The special ops team pounced like leopards. Scarface's knife stabbed one right in the back of the head. A hard kick to break its nervous system instantly. Long Hui and I flanked from both sides, and I leapt up, smashing my knee into a dog's spine. At the same time, I sank my knife straight into its brain, under the jaw. In 10 seconds flat, none of the 5 mutant dogs even made a sound. Before they were all dead, we dragged the corpses into the grass to hide them, and headed straight for the factory's underground lab entrance. At the entrance was a heavy electronic keypad door. No way to force it open. I looked closely at the keypad, and saw a few numbers were really worn out. Based on my understanding of the system and all its settings, I tried using the English abbreviation for the Culinary Rescue Team, along with the code name. Tried it 3 times. There was a beep. The doors slid open slowly. We filed in one after another. Just as we entered the underground tunnel, a strong mix of formalin and rotting flesh smell hit us right away. Huge glass tanks lined both sides of the tunnel. Flashlights shined over them. What we saw made us all gasp. Inside the tanks were all sorts of deformed humans and animals. Some were covered in scales. Some had limbs turned into claws. Some had only one giant head left. Every tank had a Culinary Rescue Team tag, with detailed records of gene fusion and experiments. Scarface cursed through clenched teeth. Turns out none of this was a natural disaster. All those mutant monsters eating people in the streets were made by the culinary rescue team. Inside their lab, they not only caused this apocalypse, but also used it as an excuse to control survivors. I used my pocket camera to take pictures of all this evidence. These are solid proof of their real face. We kept searching deeper into the lab. Inside a huge sealed area, I heard heavy chains clanking. Got closer to check. It was a giant steel cage made of alloy. Inside was a massive man, tower-sized. He was nearly 2.5 meters tall. His muscles stacked up like stone blocks. Big chains locked his arms and legs tight to the walls, with tubes stuck all over his body. He was clearly being used as a living specimen. I knew him. Saw him in the news before. He was a famous national weightlifting champion. Strongman 𝐒𝐮𝐢𝐿. Never thought he'd end up here. 𝐒𝐮𝐢𝐿 heard us approach. He slowly looked up. His eyes were bloodshot, filled with rage. He growled hoarsely for us to get lost. I said we're not with the rescue team. We're here to save you. 𝐒𝐮𝐢𝐿 paused for a moment. The rage faded a bit from his eyes. He said the cage password changes daily. Forcing it open triggers a bomb. I walked to the cage's electronic lock, carefully checked the lock and circuits. I opened the system's door, spent 1,000 coins buying an advanced electronic cracker, plugged the device's probe into it. The screen showed lines of code rapidly shifting. 30 seconds later, a click sounded. The alloy cage door popped open. The soldiers rushed in, used hydraulic cutters to break the chains. 𝐒𝐮𝐢𝐿 rubbed his wrists. He was free again. He stretched his huge body. Joints cracked like popping beans. He flashed me a grin, said his life now belonged to me. Wherever I point, he'll fight there. With this human bulldozer on my team, my group got a massive boost in power. Right as we were about to leave, a blaring alarm suddenly echoed through the lab. Red warning lights flashed everywhere. Damn it. When 𝐒𝐮𝐢𝐿 yanked off the last monitoring tube, he triggered a life sign alarm below. From the lab speakers came a furious voice. He said someone broke into Lab 0. All combat teams, seal off the factory now. Don't let them get out alive. Scarface grabbed his gun and yelled that we're exposed. We bolted, sprinting back the way we came. Just as we burst out of the underground tunnel, we saw the factory yard was already filled with dozens of armed rescue team members. Totally packed. The heavy machine gun on the armored truck aimed right at the entrance. The lead commander sneered at me. He said, "You think you can get away? Now your faces are all over the area's wanted list. It doesn't matter if it's a homeowner or a survivor. As long as they kill you, they get lifetime protection." My heart sank. Just then, the culinary rescue team issued a region-wide kill order. We instantly became everyone's target. The heavy machine gun spat out bullets 1/2 meter long, spraying like rain. 𝐒𝐮𝐢𝐿 roared and grabbed an old generator weighing nearly 1/2 ton, smashed it hard at the armored truck like tossing a rock. Boom! A huge crash. The armored vehicle crumpled deep into the ground. The heavy machine gun instantly stopped. We took the chance to dive for cover and fired back with everything we had. But there were just too many enemies. Their suppressive fire had our heads down. Rescuers kept pouring in from all sides. One squad after another kept coming. Long Hui took a bullet in the arm. Blood gushed out. A special ops soldier also fell in a pool of blood. It was down to the wire. I was almost out of ammo. In that desperate moment, from the factory wall, came a series of violent blasts. Dozens of meters of wall crashed down. Dust everywhere. A massive modded off-road truck broke through the smoke like a steel beast, slammed right through 2 rescue trucks blocking the way. Before the truck even stopped, its heavy machine gun on the roof opened fire. A web of bullets instantly tore the rescue team's siege apart. The window rolled down. A man covered in gun smoke and blood poked his head out and shouted at me, "Lu-ji! What are you waiting for? Get in now." I stared at his familiar face, shocked beyond words. It was Zhang Kai, the guy I thought died in the underground garage. He was alive, and came back with even heavier firepower. I didn't hesitate, yelled, "Break up, everyone." We covered each other, raced across blood and bodies, charged for the truck. 𝐒𝐮𝐢𝐿 pounded the steel panel in the back. Zhang Kai floored the gas. The truck roared, deafening. It crashed away through the bullets and blasts, barreling straight out of the factory gate. Gunfire faded behind us. We were all panting in the back. I asked 𝐂𝐿 where he'd been these last couple days, and how he got this insane firepower. He kept swinging the wheel, with a wry, exhausted grin. He said after the safe house blew up that night, he barely escaped the garage alive. Outside, he met tons of desperate homeowners on the run, since there was nowhere to stay. They just fought their way out, ended up running into a convoy headed for District F. That place is the base camp against the culinary rescue team now, packed with survivors who refused to be lab rats. Because I unlocked access to all regions, he borrowed heavy firepower from District F to find me, then saw me on the most wanted board, and tracked me down. I let out a long breath when he finished. Looking at my battered but fired up team, I patted 𝐂𝐿's shoulder, told him, "Let's go to District F. We'll settle this blood debt." With the culinary rescue team, the truck sped down the desolate highway. Wind howled through the cabin, thick with blood and smoke. I leaned on the window, watching the ruins rush past. Beside me were my exhausted, but finally relieved squad mates. 𝐒𝐮𝐢's huge body took up half the cabin. He was napping with his eyes closed. Scarface and two special ops guys were dressing Feng Hui's wound. 𝐂𝐿 gripped the wheel, clearly fired up. He turned and said, "District F's just up ahead." That's the place. The last hope for anyone who won't be a lab rat. Not long after, a sprawling complex appeared on the horizon. Unlike the dead zone, here, massive defense walls lined the edge. Spotlights flashed on top of the walls. Survivors with guns patrolled everywhere. As we neared the gate, 𝐂𝐿 stuck his head out and shouted the password to the guard. The heavy metal gate opened slowly. We drove into District F and saw a hive of activity. People moving supplies, repairing weapons. Everyone looked tired, but there was light in their eyes. 𝐂𝐿 parked in a huge plaza.
He said,
"This is the base of the fight against the culinary rescue team. The leader is 𝐿𝐿. He used to be a cop before all this. He led everyone to build this safe haven in the ruins." As I got out, a big guy with a rugged face came over. That was 𝐿𝐿. 𝐂𝐿 quickly introduced us. 𝐿𝐿 sized me up. His eyes landed on 𝐒𝐮𝐢. "And our special ops team." He nodded, with real approval in his eyes.
He said, "Luji,
"I've heard your name everywhere."
taking out the culinary rescue team's lab."
"And rescuing 𝐒𝐮𝐢. Really brave work, kid." I gave a humble smile. Told him, "We all fought for this with our lives." 𝐿𝐿 grew serious.
He sighed and said the culinary rescue team has lost it now.
"They're hunting down rebels in every area. District F is safe for now, but that won't last. We need more strength." His words got me thinking. I opened my system panel to check my safe house. Back in the other zone, I'd wondered, if I left that area, what would happen to my level 5 safe house? I'd poured a ton of coins and effort into it, built it myself. The panel info blew my mind. System alert. Homeowner detected outside original region. Safe house has reached level 5. Portable transfer unlocked. Transfer level 5 safe house to current location. I instantly hit yes. And the second I confirmed, a patch of empty ground on the plaza's edge burst with blinding white light. The ground shook, and a steel fortress appeared out of nowhere, landing solidly right there. Heavy armored hydraulic door. Fully fortified observation windows. This is exactly my level 5 safe house in Area 1. 𝐿𝐿 and the nearby survivors were stunned. They had never seen a super fortress like this that can move between zones. I pushed open the hydraulic door. 𝐂𝐿 and xiaowei were already waiting inside. They got teary-eyed seeing I made it back safely. I called the whole squad into the safe house. Now, with this mobile fortress, we're in Area F. We finally have real safety and the power to fight back. For the next few days, Area F was busy getting ready for battle. Rescue squad drones kept circling above. The tension was suffocating. I looked at my system account, from killing high-level supers before, and those lab mutant dogs. I'd saved up a huge pile of gold coins. Time to go big. I opened the shop and clicked Upgrade Safe House. System tone chimed. Ding. 100,000 coins spent. Safe House starts upgrading to level 6. The whole steel fortress let out another deafening rumble. The area expanded again. The single-level fort got taller. Now it's a 2-story mini stronghold. The outer armor got even thicker, shining with a cold metallic gloss. But what pumped me up most was the system message after. Congrats, safe house reached level 6. Unlocked ultimate defense weapon, glass cannon. I quickly opened the weapons vault to check. The glass cannon is a terrifying energy weapon, consumes a massive amount of coins, and fires a high energy beam that destroys anything, powerful enough to vaporize a high-level mutant instantly. Downside is each shot drains tons of energy and needs time to recharge. It's pricey and has cooldown, but it's our ace against the culinary rescue team and their heavy troops. I spent 20,000 coins without hesitation, bought and installed the glass cannon. On the evening of the 3rd day, right when all was ready, a piercing alarm shattered Area F's calm. Old Hyo shouted in the square.
He said the culinary rescue team is here.
Everyone, get ready to fight. I rushed up to the observation room on the 2nd floor. The sight outside took my breath away. The horizon was black with figures, like dark clouds rolling in. Countless mutants, all surging toward Area F like a wave. Even scarier, these mutants weren't slow or sloppy anymore, or terrifying monsters. They looked just like regular people, wearing normal clothes, and even had fear and helplessness on their faces. In a crowd, you couldn't tell people from mutants. The mutants had evolved again. They were being driven by the culinary rescue team, used as cannon fodder to burn our ammo and defenses. Behind the mutant swarm came the culinary rescue team's armored vehicles and fully armed assault squads. They stayed back at a safe distance, coldly commanding the slaughter. Gun emplacements on Area F's wall started pouring out ammo. Bullets whipped around like fiery snakes. The mutants at the front charged ahead. Flesh and blood flew everywhere. Green blood stained the ground red. But there were just too many mutants. One group fell. The next wave rushed forward, stepping over bodies. The F-zone defense line started to crumble. I watched the brutal battle below. I was frantic. These mutants mostly looked like normal people. Some of them were even innocent folks forcibly mutated by the culinary rescue team. Maybe there's still hope for them. Suddenly, I remembered the system. I thought there might be other items left in the store. I quickly searched through the store. Then, in the special items section, I spotted something glowing gold. Advanced card draw system. Every draw costs 5,000 coins. You might get rare items, weapons, or blueprints. I gritted my teeth and hit 10 draws in a row. 50,000 coins disappeared instantly. Blinding flashes appeared before my eyes. Rows of items popped up on the panel. Most were just regular ammo and materials. But when the last card flipped, a brilliant purple light shot up. Congrats! The host got a rare blueprint. Restoration serum recipe. I quickly checked the details. The restoration serum can restore early and mid-stage mutants, whose bodies aren't fully deformed yet, back to normal humans. But it needs certain ingredients, and a ton of coins to make it. I was thrilled. This was basically a game changer. Right away, I bought up all the needed ingredients in the store. Tang Shaol and Xiaowei started mixing them in the safe house. Meanwhile, I rushed to the safe house's weapon control panel. I grabbed the glass cannon controls. Looking through the scope, I locked onto a target tightly, aiming at the culinary rescue team's armored vehicle behind them. Since the mutants were their cannon fodder, I decided to hit their command center directly. I roared. System locked on. Energy fully charged. Glass cannon ready. Firing. A thick, blinding blue beam blasted out from the top of the safe house. It tore through the night like nothing could stop it, and slammed right into a heavy armored vehicle. No roar, no explosion. Just a creepy sizzling sound. That supposedly unbreakable armored vehicle, under the blue beam, instantly vaporized like ice under the sun. It totally vanished, along with a dozen rescue team members nearby. They were also wiped out by this terrifying energy beam, all reduced to ashes. The battlefield went dead silent. Everyone was shocked by this godlike attack. The culinary rescue team's formation fell apart instantly. The commander shouted desperately to retreat, covering, but I wasn't about to give them a chance. Glass cannon cooling down. I grabbed my assault rifle and charged out the safe house with Li Dali and the Tiger Squad. We're fighting our way through. I took the lead at the front. My assault rifle poured out fire non-stop. specifically aiming for the culinary rescue team who tried to regroup. 𝐷𝐼 was like a raging bulldozer. His huge body crashed right into the enemy lines, swinging his heavy warhammer, smashing armored soldiers away with each blow. Scarface led the Tiger Squad, cutting in from the flank like ghosts. Sharp military knives targeted the weak spots of the hazmat suits. Jiang Kai and Lao Huo held the city wall, organizing F-zone survivors for suppressive fire. The battle flipped instantly. The heavy division of the culinary rescue team, after leaving dozens of dead bodies, began retreating in a panic. But they hadn't completely collapsed. They kept coldly pushing forward. Waves of normal-looking mutants to launch mindless suicide attacks on us. The eyes of these regular mutants were full of fear and struggle. Many of them didn't become mutants by choice. They were just used as lab rats and ammo fodder by the culinary rescue team. Looking at these manipulated bodies, I felt a wave of intense rage. Just then, Tang Xiaoyu and Xiaowei ran out carrying 2 huge incubators from the safe house. They shouted for me as they ran. The restoration serum is ready. My eyes lit up. I immediately had the special ops squad cover me, opened the incubator, and inside were hundreds of injectors glowing faint blue. I grabbed a handful of serum towards the few mutants charging up front. Didn't shoot, but waited for the right moment, kicked one mutant down, and stabbed the serum hard into his neck. As the blue serum went in, his misty pupils instantly contracted. The twisted look of pain slowly eased. He started choking and retching hard, then suddenly vomited a huge glob of filthy green slime. He collapsed to the ground, panting heavily. When he looked up, his eyes were completely clear again. He stared at his hands and burst into tears. He cried out, "I'm not dead."
I'm back.
Everyone nearby was stunned by what happened. Lao Huo shouted himself hoarse from the city wall. He yelled, "That's the antidote. Cover Lu, save everyone." I kept doing the same, taking down another 10 mutants at the front, and injected them all with the restoration serum. These rescued humans looked around confused when they realized it was the culinary rescue team that turned them into monsters and sent them to die. Their confusion instantly turned to deep hatred. I tossed spare weapons to them. I shouted loudly, "You were made monsters by those scumbags in hazmat suits. This is your only chance now. Grab a weapon and fight with me. If you don't want to become monsters again, then crush the culinary rescue team." The survivors who just regained their senses picked up guns with red-rimmed eyes. Though their bodies were still weak, the rage for revenge gave them amazing strength. They roared as they joined our ranks and started blasting at the culinary rescue team. This miraculous turn of events completely shattered the culinary rescue team's morale. They never imagined the mutant army they were so proud of could be turned by a few syringes of serum into the wildest Avengers, and the mutants who hadn't gotten injected yet, maybe because of the serum's scent, or seeing their friends transformed, were also a bit thrown off and stopped for a moment. They didn't blindly charge anymore. I took the chance and ordered a full counterattack. The glass cannon was recharged and ready. I gave orders to Xiaowei over the comm. A devastating blue beam shot through the night again and nailed the culinary rescue team's rear headquarters. That was their temporary command post and ammo depot. A massive energy blast instantly set off all the munitions. A bright mushroom cloud shot up into the sky. A violent shockwave flipped every armored vehicle nearby. The culinary rescue squad collapsed for good. The surviving soldiers threw down their gear and ran for their lives. But on this battlefield, already ablaze with rage, there was nowhere to run. 𝐷𝐼 grabbed a commander like he was a chick and yanked him straight out of the jeep. He slammed him hard onto the ground. Scarface's dagger slashed through the fleeing soldiers' hazmat suits. The fighting raged on until dawn, when the first rays of sunlight broke through the darkness, lighting up this hellish battleground. The ground was covered with bodies and wreckage from the culinary rescue squad Zone held, and we totally wiped out their main force. But we didn't cheer, because this bloody victory came at too high a price. I walked up to the commander 𝐷𝐼 had captured alive. His face was covered in blood, his eyes filled with pure terror. I pressed my rifle to his head, my voice freezing cold. I said, "Tell me, What is your team really about? Why are you turning humans into monsters? And what's the real secret you're hiding? The commander trembled, his lips shaking. At first he tried to hold out, but after 𝐿 broke 2 of his fingers, he finally lost it. He broke down crying. We were forced into this. The Culinary Rescue Squad isn't even a human organization. We're just the vanguard for the alien invasion. Hearing that, I felt a chill run through me. The alien commander kept going, shaking all over. The real masterminds behind everything are some higher life forms from deep space. They want Earth's resources, but a direct invasion would meet fierce resistance from Earth's will. So instead, they're using genetic engineering to create a virus that turns humans into monsters. Their plan is to destroy human society from within. Those mutant dogs we made in the lab and the enhanced humans came from data they provided. I took a deep breath, feeling a chill down my spine. If this is true, then what about the system and the pale man? I asked sharply, why does that damn system hand out gold coins? And what's the pale man anyway? The commander looked at me in shock, like he couldn't believe I didn't know.
He gritted his teeth and said, the system isn't our doing.
The system and the pale man are actually Earth's own defense mechanism. I froze. Earth's defense mechanism? The commander let out a bitter laugh. He said Earth intervened to save itself and forced itself into reality. It created the system to distribute gold coins to you, all to select those truly capable of fighting in the apocalypse. And the pale man, he's the embodiment of Earth's will. His harsh rules aren't just about killing. They're to weed out the weak. Because with beings from higher dimensions invading, cowards will either be assimilated or destroyed. Only those who survive fire and blood and dare to fight back can be Earth's true defenders. I stood there in shock. Suddenly, all the clues clicked in my head. Why does the system set up defense missions where only one person can win coins? Why those weird visitor count checks? Why does the pale man keep raising the bar for survival? Turns out, it was all a brutal trial, and Earth's last desperate gamble. Earth is using the harshest methods to pick warriors who can fight the alien invasion. I looked at the ruined land and at the people who survived, helping patch each other's wounds. I was overwhelmed by something I can't even describe. Right then, out of the morning mist, that tall, pale figure appeared out of nowhere again. He stood on the nearby ruins, watching us, still wearing that silver robe. His face no longer had that creepy smile, but showed a peaceful calm. I walked over, didn't raise my gun. I looked at him and asked, "Who are you really?" The pale man looked up at the sunrise. His voice echoed like it came from ancient times. It sounded ethereal and deep. He said he's the spirit of this planet, pain and resistance, born from billions of years of life and death cycles.
He said, 𝐿𝐠.
You're doing great. You and your team showed humanity isn't so easily wiped out. You've passed the final selection. I gripped my rifle tighter. I said this is just an outpost. Just one battle. The real alien force hasn't arrived yet, right? The pale man nodded. He said they're already on the way. This was just the defeat of the vanguard. The real war has only begun. But as long as chosen survivors like you exist, this planet won't flicker out easily. A breeze swept by. The pale man's figure turned completely into countless sparkling lights, merging into the earth. My system panel announced with a crisp global broadcast. System prompt. Earth defense trial. Beginner. Ended. Congrats to all who survived blood and fire and weren't assimilated. Final battle module loaded. All leaders, gather your power. Get ready for the darkest hour before dawn. I turned around, looked at 𝐿𝐠, the commando squad, Feng-Hu his wife, and all the restored survivors. They all looked at me with firm eyes. I knew this survival trial has just truly begun. But right now, we're not trembling lambs in a safe house anymore, waiting to be slaughtered. We're the force fighting back for this planet. I raised my assault rifle, aimed it at the rising sun, and shouted, "Get ready for battle?" I stood in the middle of the smoke-filled battlefield, where the dust hadn't settled, with scorched ground beneath my feet, and a new sun above. Golden light cut through thick clouds, lighting every face that fought and survived. But this peace is bound to be brief. The The system's cold, mechanical voice, like a death knell, echoed again in every survivor's mind. Warning, alien invasion. Vanguard forces wiped out. The mothership locked on Earth's coordinates. Destruction strike arriving in 72 hours. All current safe shelters will be forced offline. All survivors prepare for the final stand. This announcement hit like a thunderbolt. Those who had just cheered went silent. Despair spread like a plague. Mothership's destruction strike. Sounds like impossible power to fight. Even if we just beat the culinary rescue team, even with advanced weapons, we're like ants compared to this interplanetary war machine. Still so tiny. Looking at all those darkened eyes around me, my heart sank. This is not just another battle, but a test of ultimate willpower. If we give up now, all past sacrifice and effort will mean nothing. I took a deep breath, jumped onto a wrecked armored truck, shouting loudly, "Listen up, everyone! We fought off those monsters and snatched our lives back. We destroyed the so-called rescue team. Now we just have a tougher enemy. Are you really gonna stick your necks out and wait for the axe? Old Huo Zhangkai, and every one of you who crawled out of a bloodbath, tell me, are you just gonna give up?" My voice echoed across the open battlefield, carrying absolute resolve. Old Huo's eyes were red. He lifted his head and spat bloody saliva. He slammed his rifle on the ground, cursing, "I'm still alive after half a lifetime. I've seen all kinds of storms. So what if they're aliens? Even if the king of gods showed up, you want to take my turf? I'd still knock out a few of your teeth." Zhang Kai refused to back down. He wiped smoke off his face and grinned, showing 2 rows of white teeth.
He said, "Luji,
"You're right. Either way, it's probably death. Might as well fight. Maybe we can drag a few down with us." Li Dali was swinging his giant warhammer, letting out a deafening roar. The commandos quietly checked their ammo, eyes fueled by revenge. The crowd's morale lit up again bit by bit. We don't know what lies ahead, but we're not scattered anymore. Seeing my teammates fired up again, I felt warmth in my chest. I opened the system panel. All points and coins were instantly thrown in without holding back. I'm turning these last 72 hours into our comeback chance. I shouted orders. Everyone listen up. Gather all F-Zone resources. We're building a defense strong enough to face the alien mothership. System shop. Those blueprints and weapons we didn't dare to look at before. Now, buy them all. No retreat left. The next 3 days, F-Zone became a massive construction site. Everyone was working like crazy. 𝐷 and 𝐷 LED-skilled survivors, working non-stop in the safe house basement, with advanced energy batteries. Li Dali led strong men, digging trenches around F-Zone, building fortifications. Scarface and the commandos trained those who just picked up weapons, taught new guys to use grenades, how to survive in battle. I focused everything on upgrading the safe house to its limit. The system told me, once the safe house hit max level, I could do an ultimate fusion, combining all modules into one unit, turning it into a small battle fortress. I didn't hesitate and fused it. A thunderous roar shook the air. The steel stronghold grew even larger. It transformed dramatically again. Armor got thicker and more angular, covered in flowing blue energy. Shield tops glass cannons, upgraded to 2 double high-energy particle cannons. And at the very peak, a giant signal tower pierced the sky.
That's
The key device to jam alien mothership comes. 72 hours passed in a flash. As the last sunlight disappeared, the sky suddenly turned dark. Clouds rolled like boiling water. A huge shadow covered the ground. It was a massive starship that blotted out the sky. It hovered over Sector F. Cold, eerie red lights flashed on its hull. Countless small ships, like a swarm of locusts, poured out from the mothership's belly, flooding toward the ground. Sharp alarms echoed through the sky. The alien vanguard had landed. These weren't ordinary soldiers. They wore exoskeleton armor and carried energy weapons. They were tall and fast. Each shot from their weapons blew a big crater in the ground. The battle broke out instantly. The outer defense of Sector F was barely holding after the first attack. The survivors fought back with all they had, but our equipment lagged far behind. Our bullets hit their energy, shields just causing ripples, but did little damage. Their counterattacks were deadly. Many fell in the first exchange. The defense line was about to fall. I yelled and fired up the fortress's full weapons systems. The twin high-energy particle cannons glowed blue. 2 thick beams cut through the night, hitting a low-flying alien landing craft. Boom! It blew up into a giant fireball. Shrapnel rained down everywhere. That stunning shot instantly boosted everyone's morale. Old Hyo shouted from the trench, "Nice shot!" Guys, did you see that? They're made of flesh too. We can kill them. Hit them hard. I worked the fortress's gun network and shot down every craft that got close. At the same time, the heavy gun towers on both sides started blasting. A metal storm of bullets swept the alien troops below. Those arrogant bastards were caught off guard. Their energy shields shattered under heavy fire. Then they were ripped apart. But there were just too many enemies. The mothership looked pissed off. Its main gun started charging up. A massive red beam came straight at the fortress. My heart skipped a beat. System alert. Detective Planet Killer energy strike. Current shields can't hold it back. I shouted, "Everyone dodge!" and cranked the shields to max. The red light flooded the whole fortress. The shock nearly knocked me over. Sirens screamed in my ears, and metal creaked all around. Shield energy dropping fast. 50%, 30%, 10%. Right as the shield was about to break, the red beam finally faded. The fortress was still smoking, the outer wall glowing red, but somehow it held. I wiped the cold sweat off my face, my eyes growing fiercer. If you want to go all out, bring it on. I called through the comms to all fighters. Now's our chance. Hit back while their main guns recharging. Counterattack. Lee Dali led a suicide squad out of the trench. They carried freshly made EMP grenades and charged at the stunned aliens. Scarface and the commandos darted through the ruins, using the terrain, sniping enemy commanders. The battlefield was a giant meat grinder. People fell every second. Lives flickered out every second. But no one backed down. We fought for our home, for humanity's last bit of dignity. Just as the battle reached its peak, a strange hum suddenly rang out in the sky. That tall, pale figure, that man symbolizing Earth's will, showed up in the sky again. This time, he wasn't just a cold observer anymore. His body glowed with bright white light, like a rising sun. He stretched out his arms. Countless sparks flew out from him, merging into every fighter on the battlefield. I felt a rush of power I'd never felt before. All my exhaustion vanished. My wounds healed fast. My weapon suddenly felt alive. Not just me. Everyone changed in amazing ways. Average people moved as fast as cheetahs. Some were as strong as bears. And some could even command the elements, summoning fire and lightning from thin air. This was Earth's final gift.
He poured all his power into me.
After the pale man gave his energy, he turned transparent. He stared at the battlefield below, smiling with relief. Before fading away, his last words were, "Go. Humans, this is your planet. No one can take it away." This power became the final blow to defeat the alien army. We charged forward all at once. Those arrogant alien warriors couldn't even fight back against us now. Dali smashed an exosuit with his hammer. Everywhere he went, aliens turned to ashes. The fortress I controlled aimed its final particle cannon right at the mothership in the sky. The system warned of energy overload. Firing would destroy the fortress for good. Confirm fire. I looked at that massive beast. Didn't hesitate at all. Slammed the launch button hard.
Die!
A beam brighter than ever before shot into the sky, carrying the fury of all life on Earth, and roared with rage, slamming straight into the mothership's core engine. Time seemed to freeze right then. Next, in the sky, a blast of light, brighter than the sun, burst out. The Earth itself shook with the force of the explosion. That mighty alien mothership broke apart in the air. Chunks fell like shooting stars, burning as they streaked across the sky. Aliens on the ground saw the ship go down and totally lost the will to fight. They dropped their weapons and surrendered, or blew themselves up in despair. When the last blast faded, Zone If went completely quiet for a moment. Then came a deafening cheer. People hugged each other tight, crying and shouting, "We won. We really did." I slumped down in front of the console, watching the data on the screen calm down. Took a long breath. 𝐷 and Wei rushed in and hugged me tight. My shoulder got soaked with their tears. I walked out of the fortress, looking at a battered but lively earth. The morning light shone down again. This time, there was no gloom. No more fear, only endless hope. The friends we lost, the heroes who gave their lives, their sacrifices weren't in vain. We humans not only survived this disaster, we came out stronger than ever. We protected our home, and our future, and I, 𝐒𝐬, who once just wanted to survive, finally found my answer at the world's end. I found what I was looking for. As long as the fire inside us burns, hope lives on. Flames fell from the sky like rain. That huge alien mothership's wreckage crashed down like burning meteors. Even though we just risked it all to destroy the mothership, the crisis isn't over yet. A huge chunk of the core, as big as a hill, fell straight toward the area we'd lived in. The ground shook hard and thundered deafeningly. Right at that moment, the system gave a new alert. This time, it wasn't a cold robotic voice. It actually sounded urgent and human. System alert. The remaining core has locked onto our coordinates. Earth is now in forced evolution mode. Eligible survivors, destroy the jump core now. I lowered my head to glance at the system panel. Because we blew up the alien mothership, my kill reward coin spiked, totally maxed out. There were so many zeros, I couldn't even count. My balance just showed all nines. 𝐷 and Wei rushed over, looking worried, asking what we do next. I gave a cold laugh, sighed. If all we've got left is money, then let's max out this safe house. I tapped the upgrade button like mad. 100,000, 1 million, 10 million coins gone in a flash. The coins drained away crazy fast. Our safe house went from level 6 all the way to max level 9. The whole steel fortress flashed bright blue. The main building burrowed deep underground. Even the size grew almost 100 times. Layers of superalloy stacked up everywhere. The whole base totally transformed. It became a high-tech mobile war fortress. System unlocked gravity field control. System unlocked the air hovering attack squad. System unlocked antimatter destroyers. Jiang Kai and Old Huo stared at the fortress in shock. Old Huo stuttered, "This isn't a safe house anymore. This firepower can take on the aliens' home planet." I patted his shoulder, sighed. Earths will gave us all the cards. Without this gear, how would we fight the aliens for turf? But before we could even celebrate, the recon squad we sent out before, the special ops guys, Scarface radioed in for emergency comes. He sounded super worried on the channel. He said, "Lu, listen up. That core chunk that fell in Area 1 is weird. The energy waves are off the charts. A huge group of alien stragglers are gathered around it. They're using the wreckage to build a giant star jump gate, trying to call in the real alien fleet. And there's an even bigger problem." Scarface gulped and kept talking. "Earlier, those normal folks rescued by the chef squad, after absorbing the core's energy and its dark radiation, started going berserk out of control. Now they're mutated and some are meters tall. They recognize nobody now. They're in pure kill mode. Even the antidote we used before doesn't work on them now." Hearing this, my heart sank. I knew it. There's no way the aliens would give up that easy. If that jump gate gets finished, Earth will really be their backyard. We have to wipe them all out before it's activated. I grouped up Dali, Jiang Kai, and the special ops squad. Gather everyone in the command hall. I look at these brothers who've been through hell with me. I tell them break time's over. Now we've got way better gear. Time to settle the score with those alien leftovers. Old Huo stepped up. He'll lead the survivors from Zone F to defend the maxed-out fortress. He'll use the fortress's heavy firepower and gravity field to guard against those rampaging mutant destroyers around us. I told him to protect our home no matter what. Then I took my elite assault squad. We headed to the mech hangar at the fortress base. We hopped straight into the newly unlocked hover armor.
Tank.
The tank's plasma engines blast out a blue flame, and we shoot ahead like lightning, charging down the road. The ground is full of mutant destroyers wreaking havoc. Some monsters have 4 arms. Some constantly spit strong acid. The huge ones are as big as a 2-story building. But against our hover tank's rapid-fire cannons, These monsters are just piles of coins and XP. The tank steamrolls ahead, crushing every mutant in our way. Not long after, we push back into the ruins of our old familiar district. I look down through the tank's front window. Those apartment blocks in South City where I once lived are totally wiped out. In their place is a massive ring-shaped crater. The alien mothership's core smashed right into the middle. It's glowing bright purple, easy to spot. The bottom of the pit is packed with alien soldiers, and tons of DJ talents forced to work for them. They're swarming like worker ants, hauling metal non-stop, putting together a huge Stargate frame, hundreds of meters tall. I see in the center of the Stargate, the space ripples flashing like crazy. If we'd shown up 30 minutes later, the Stargate would probably be fully open.
I snort.
Turn to Lee Dolly. Dolly, it's all on you now. Let him hear something loud. Italy grins wickedly, baring his big mouth. He got his body boosted by Earth's wool earlier. Now he's pretty much a human T-Rex. He grabs the priciest antimatter rocket launcher from the arsenal, shoves open the armored hatch on top of the tank, jumps right out. Standing on the roof, he aims down at the alien base in the pit, from way up high. That's when an alien commander at the bottom of the pit seems to notice the commotion above. He's rocking a flashy golden power suit, lifts his high-frequency energy sword and points it at us, aiming straight at our tank. On the tank's communication channel, his device spits out awkward translated Earth language. Lowly native ants, come down now and surrender on your knees. Become slaves to the great cosmic gods. It's your only shot at survival. I almost laugh hearing that. Even facing death, he's still acting tough. Does he really think he's still the unstoppable fleet vanguard from earlier? I can't even be bothered to talk. I reach for the cockpit controls and slam that main cannon fire button. A beam of blinding white light, like a water bucket thick, shot through the air. That arrogant golden alien commander didn't even have time to scream. Along with the dozens of elite guards around him, were instantly vaporized by the main cannon's heat, blasted into a cloud of ash. This is a textbook dimensional strike. It threw the alien base into chaos in a flash. Lee Dolly wasn't idle either. The antimatter rocket launcher on his shoulder fired again and again. Black antimatter energy spheres smashed into the enemy crowd like a reaper's scythe. No loud explosions, just chilling space devouring everything. Whatever those black orbs touched, every alien creature hit, disappeared quietly with a final scream. The defensive line below was torn open instantly. Scarface, the Special Forces guy, shouted, "Move!" He led his squad, sliding down the lock rope, like tigers storming a pit. Sharp military vibro knives sprayed blood throughout the enemy ranks. Those surviving aliens never expected us to come so fast, and the firepower was this fierce. They were completely stunned, unable to fight back at all. We were about to reach the core device and forcefully destroy the Stargate. That massive mothership core suddenly emitted an ear-piercing buzz. Purple light flashed brighter than ever. The air at the center of the Stargate was ripped open by a terrifying force, tearing a huge gap. A suffocating pressure poured out of the pitch-black space fracture. Even gravity at the crater bottom twisted. Zhang Kai went pale, shouting to the 𝐶𝐮𝐬𝐬 bro. "Pull back fast, something big is coming." I gripped my Gauss sniper rifle tightly and stared at the growing spatial fissure. In its darkness, slowly emerged a gigantic mechanical metal claw, just as 3 sharp alloy talons were bigger than our hover tank. Looks like the main alien mothership beast can't hold back. It's about to force its way through. If this thing lands on Earth, all humans would end up like birds. Unless we shut down the Stargate, blow up the core, none of us will walk away alive today. I grabbed the communicator and yelled to Tang Xiaoyu and Xiaowei in the cockpit. Crank the plasma engine up. Push it straight to 200% max power. Forget the weapons. Ram the tank right into that purple mothership core. The tank's engine groaned under overload, screaming as it ripped through the air. The whole vehicle, like a burning meteor, angled down and crashed at the light source in the pit. That giant mechanical beast halfway out seemed to sense our intention. It let out a soul-shaking sonic roar and swung that massive metal claw that covered the sky. creating terrifying wind pressure, and slammed it down right at our tank. The distance closed fast, visible to the naked eye. The sudden weightlessness made me clutch the seatbelt tight. Life and death was decided in these 0.01 seconds. That giant metal claw slammed down with space-ripping force. The tank's shield shattered instantly on impact. The whole tank went flying like a ping-pong ball hit by a sledgehammer, spinning wildly. I felt my insides shift out of place. Gravity's distortion made my body hard to control. In this life-or-death moment, I gritted my teeth again and activated system's berserk overclock mode. The Level 9 Max Fortress remote control system instantly took over the tank. Underneath, the antimatter engine blasted reverse. Just before the claw crushed us, we pulled off a sideways escape. The tank scraped along the crater wall, sparks flying everywhere. As we slipped by, I locked eyes on the nearby purple mothership, core explosion sequence counting down. In the last second, I dragged 𝐂𝐮𝐦𝐚𝐧𝐢𝐭𝐲'𝐬 next to me and hit the escape pod launch button. The moment we shot into the air, our hover tank, loaded with antimatter, slammed hard into the core. No sound came out, because at that instant, all noise was swallowed by the sudden black hole. A pitch-black space ripple exploded out from the impact point. The once blinding purple light was sucked into the black hole like a giant whale pulling water. Then came the tsunami-like gravitational collapse. The ever-expanding interstellar jump gate started twisting wildly, like a torn piece of paper crushed by invisible hands. The massive mechanical beast stuck in the gate let out a silent howl. Its body was crushed, space blades slicing through it like tofu. Dark golden fluid and broken machine parts gushed out. Soon after, the hundreds-meter-tall Stargate imploded inward, with one last flash of white light. All alien tech products turned to dust. The alien soldiers left in the crater bottom vanished instantly. Without guidance and energy, the alien ships hovering above crashed down out of control. That galaxy invasion that could have destroyed Earth came to a complete end right then. Mia and a few surviving buddies managed to land with the escape pod's cushion at the edge of the crater. On the rim, everyone stared at the lifeless pit below. Breathing heavily, 𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷 slammed his broken warhammer hard into the ground. He grinned, blood-soaked mouth splitting in a dumb smile. Jiang Kai plopped onto the rubble and said, "We actually survived this time." I looked at the horizon. The strange red glow was slowly fading. Sunlight started to clear and shine again. It was the sign of our home being reborn. Just as we were preparing to leave for the fortress, from behind the distant ruins came a burst of engine roars. About a dozen armored black SUVs pulled up in formation, surrounding us. Doors opened. Dozens of people in suits, with proud expressions, escorted an old man off the cars. Behind them came a group of mercenaries with high-tech weapons. The old man wore a badge on his chest I'd never seen. The rescue team's Supreme Commander medal.
He looked us over with a superior cold gaze.
Studying me, all covered in blood. He clapped his palms, and with a business-like arrogance began to speak.
He said, "Mr. Liu,
Your performance exceeded our expectations. As survivors fit for duty, you're now officially drafted into the Global Reconstruction Committee of the rescue team. That maxed-out safe house fortress in your hands has to be handed over to the committee immediately. All the weapon data and systems inside, and the gold balance will be confiscated. For the future of humanity, you must make this sacrifice." The officials behind the elder all nodded in agreement. One fat guy was greedily staring at the system dial on my wrist. He shouted that the alien threat was gone now, and this world needs a new order. You brutal folks who only know how to kill aren't needed anymore. Be smart and kneel down to hand over the controls. Give up the authority, or else the committee will punish you for crimes against humanity. 𝐷𝐷𝐷 tried to rush forward and throw a punch again. I raised my arm and stopped my angry brothers. I glared coldly at that hypocritical elder. I said, "While those brothers died blocking bullets up front, where were you hiding when the alien mothership was right overhead? What was your committee doing? Now the fight's over. You want to show up and take the credit, and you use the future of humanity as your cover. What I hate most in my life are parasites like you who scheme from the shadows." The elder's face darkened. He suddenly waved his left hand. Dozens of special plasma suppressor guns instantly pointed at our heads.
He said the situation isn't yours to control now.
The committee has control over 80% of the world's remaining shelters and supplies. Your level 9 fortress may be strong, but you only have one. If you refuse to cooperate, we'll make you disappear completely. In the dust of history, I couldn't help but burst out laughing after hearing that. After I just wiped out the alien core, my house owner level has already surpassed the system limits. I opened my portable system panel and quietly tapped the recall button for the highest command. At that moment, the cloudless sky was suddenly overshadowed by a gigantic shadow. It was our level 9 mobile combat fortress. It activated full-speed hover mode, teleporting directly above these ruins. The massive armored base, hundreds of meters long, came down like a piece of man-made land. The gravity regulators at the fortress base ran wild. All those vehicles and mercenaries the Elder brought suddenly felt like their bodies weighed a ton. Everyone was pinned to the ground like dead dogs, crushed by terrifying gravity. They couldn't even move a pinky. That bunch who was just so arrogant as officials were now scared out of their minds. I slowly walked up to the ghostly pale Elder. I looked down into his terrified eyes. I said, "Who told you we only have one fortress?" I casually opened the system store's build tab. With special materials from the exploded mothership and those hundreds of billions in gold rewards, I've unlocked all building constraints. Under the Elder's terrified gaze, because of the gravity field, the earth and rocks around us started wildly reshaping. Next to my level 9 fortress, another giant steel pillar rose up to the sky. A second, a third, until a dense set of semi-mechanical fortresses filled the entire crater. Each fortress top glowed with the intense light of particle cannons. I looked down at the old commander and said, "Now I write the rules of this world. You want to talk order? Then let me show you what real absolute power is." I waved my hand, the fortress's mechanical arms, through this greedy, rotten crowd, right out of the defense zone. Send them into the wilderness to face real survival in the apocalypse. At this very moment, the system sent out one last, crisp and clear global announcement. System prompt. Since owner Luji crushed the alien will and cleared out the parasites, Earth's defense trial ends with a perfect score. The exchange system will remain forever. Luji is now Earth's legendary guardian. The world enters full reconstruction. Hearing this voice, Jiang Kai and Feng Hui held their guns and jumped for joy. Tang Xiaoyu and Zhao Wei ran over, grabbing both of my arms tightly. Sunlight now fully shines on the scarred, yet vibrant land. I looked back at the maxed-out fortress and the rows of steel forests. I turned to the guys and said, "From now on, no one can play us like lab rats anymore. Since we fought our way back to this land, we can build it into a solid paradise." Li Dali grinned and said, "Can we have braised ribs every day now?" I put my arm around his shoulder, thinking of the knocks on the door and those terrifying nights. I said, "We'll have meat every day. And also, we can all sleep soundly in the sun. No one will knock to take your life. I will build the world's safest city as the seed for human rebirth." Amidst the cheers, I closed the bloody system interface that saw me through the fight. I looked into the distance, at the ruins and green fields, and the heavy pressure in my heart finally faded away. I'm the top homeowner, Luji. In this broken world, I finally led my brothers and my goals to the very end, and to a new starting point. Those arrogant committee members, tossed out of the shield, shivered in the wilderness's cold wind. Their fancy suits were soon covered in dust. Without high-tech weapons or guards, out in the ruins, they couldn't even handle a single rat. I stood on the high fortress wall, watching coldly. I felt no pity at all. This is the law of the end times. The lazy are destined to be cut, even the old world elites. Turning back to the command hall, the guys were around the holomap, excitedly discussing the future. Jiang Kai pointed to a red area,
saying, "Brother Lu,
we have money and resources now. Let's purify this land of all the nuclear radiation. That was once the best farmland. If we can grow food, even if the system goes away, we can still survive." I nodded. That's exactly what I want. Though we can buy anything now, the system isn't a long-term fix. Only by healing the earth itself can humanity truly continue. I opened the Mac system panel that so many people envied. In the Environment tab, I clicked buy without hesitation. Thousands of purification bots flew out like a swarm. They worked tirelessly in the ruins, neutralizing radiation, breaking down trash, and restoring the soil. The once gray sky turned blue under the field. Dead tree remains were cleared and replaced by green saplings. In just 1 month, the land for miles was green again. Clear rivers flowed once more. This miracle drew survivors from all over the world. They traveled far with their families just to see the city of hope. For those who truly want to live, I opened the gates wide. As long as you'll work and follow the rules, you get food and shelter. Soon around the fortress, new apartment buildings rose up. No more dark, depressing shelters, but modern apartments with windows to let the sun in. 𝐿𝐿 became the head of construction.
He's a big, tough guy.
But he works harder than anyone. He's out on the site every day. During his lunch break, he sits on a pile of rebar, eating massive pork hocks. He grins while he eats, saying, "I never dreamed of a life this good." Feng Hui and the special ops team formed the city guard, wearing light exoskeleton armor. They patrol every corner day and night, whether it's mutant beasts or shady drifters. If they dare come close, they're kicked out immediately. Nyania has grown a lot. Lin Wan is gone, but Xiaoyu and Zhao Wei treat her like a real sister. The little girl carries her bag to the brand new school. I passed by the school one day and heard children reading aloud. In that moment, I felt it was all worth the fight. Late one night, I climbed the highest point alone, looking down at the glowing city. No more screams of terror, replaced instead by laughter and night market buzz. Just then, space rippled behind me. That tall, pale figure appeared. He still wore his silver robe, but the suffocating pressure was completely gone. Now he felt warm and calm. He walked up to me to look at the lights.
He said, "Lu Ji,
You did better than I expected. Earth's defense is stable now. Time to close the cruel trial." I turned to look at him, feeling a hint of sadness, though he once acted like a demon, forcing us to struggle to survive. It was his coldness that sparked our will to live. I asked where he'd go next, and if he'd ever return. The pale man shook his head. His body began to turn into light.
He said, "My mission is done."
Earth doesn't need a cold overseer. The future path is yours to walk, but I'll become the mountains, the wind and the rain. I will always watch over you. Remember, as long as you have hope, I am everywhere. As his last words fell, his figure vanished completely into the night breeze. Meanwhile, the interface on my wrist let out one last beep. All task bars were cleared. The countdown that was always hanging over me finally hit 0. All that was left was a permanent exchange store and fortress control rights. It's Earth's final gift for the Guardians. I took a deep breath. I felt a lightness on my shoulders like never before. All those nightmares of being chased by zombies, hunted by mutants, or crushed beneath alien motherships finally ended here. Tang Xiaoyu and Xiao Wei grabbed a thick coat and came up to the terrace, gently draping it over me. They smiled and asked what I was watching. So absorbed, I held their hands, and it pointed out to the brightest star on the horizon. I said I was looking at our future, a place without killing or fear, where, through these years, what's most ordinary is most precious: peace. Jiang Kai shouted from downstairs for me to come drink. He said 𝐿𝐿's roasted sheep is ready again. If you come late, there won't even be bones left. I laughed and called back. I hugged my love beside me and turned to walk down the tower, heading into the place that's ours, where people live with warmth and joy. This is no longer a story about survival, but a new chapter about real life. And me, Lu Ji, once a top homeowner, now the guardian of the city, will keep writing humanity's legend on this reborn land. Except this time, there's no system voice to remind me, because every sunrise is all the proof I need.